Bam, we're live. How would that look on a shirt? People are like, "Can I get a shirt that says "Bam, we're live"?" I'm like, I can't. I'm having trouble picturing that.
Caleb doesn't have pants on, so that's cool.
Jeez, Caleb, everyone just saw your underwear. Shit, I wonder if my wife will call me back. I forgot to print out my notes for the show. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
Got the heat on. Everything's good. Got the phone number. Guys. Oh, first, before we get crazy. Hi, Matt. Hey, Caleb.
Hey.
Barbelljobs.com. Okay, that's a sponsor. Thank you, barbelljobs.com. If you need a job and you like barbells, go to barbelljobs.com. Just go over there and take a look at least. Just be like, hey, oh, that's cool. That's what Zevon's always talking about. It doesn't cost you anything. Well, a little electricity. That's not true. Nothing is free. The time you spend with your computer on and going over there to look will cost you money and some wear and tear on your keyboard. There's only so many strokes a keyboard can take. How come I can't hear myself? There I am. There it is. I'm drinking. Oh shit! I'm drinking this stuff called Page Street. What's the name of this coffee I'm drinking?
Oh, the notes. You needed the notes.
Page Street
Coffee
Coffee.
Page.
Paper Street Coffee?
Oh, Paper Street Coffee. So did I tell this story yet about how the guy wants to sponsor the show? And I'm like, hey, I already drink Good Dudes. And he's like, hey, you can tell people my coffee sucks. I don't care. And I'm like, oh, how the fuck am I supposed to say no to that? He's like, I just want to support the show. So I said, okay, can you send me out some coffee so I can start drinking it? Dude.
How is it?
God, I feel like this is sacrilege saying this. But the beans look just like the Good Dudes beans. They're like those little light brown ones, and it smells crazy good, and it launches me. It launches me. It launches me.
I want to try some.
Yeah. So they're not a sponsor yet. No one get crazy and go over there and start spending money yet. But I'm gonna drink like 4 or 5 bags of that shit.
Wait till we give you the official go ahead. Until then, go to barbelljobs.com.
I can't tell if he's figured me out and he's a master manipulator, or if it's really true. Because like when he says, like, I'm like, hey dude, I can't, like, if I like Good Dudes better, like I'm not gonna be able to say good shit about your coffee. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I just want to support your show. He's like, I got another business where I'm making bucks. My coffee shit's my hobby. I'm like, oh man. All right,
Damn.
Send it over.
He knows how to get it in front of you. That's
Either
right.
he manipulated the fuck out of me or he's a good dude. I don't know. I think I already showed this, but I might as well show it again. We had Eli Crane as a guest on the show on the Josh and Matt and Sevon show. No, Matt doesn't do that show anymore. God, we need another M name. Oh, were you on the show with Eli Crane, Sousa?
I think I was doing the back end of it. I might have had a cameo.
Fuck it. We're gonna call it the Josh, Matt, and Sevon show then, because we had a Matt. So this is the bottle breacher, and this is basically a crazy bottle opener.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, and he sent it to me, and it's a real bullet, but missing the bullet stuff.
The bang bang stuff.
Yeah, the bang bang stuff. The stuff that kills. Anyway, I don't know if I should leave it. Do I keep the box?
Oh yeah,
it came in. Oh,
you could do like a whole display with it, man.
Yeah, it's a nice box.
But and then I got this one too. I got this one in a wooden box. This super breacher, super bottle. I have 2. You know what? I'm leaving them out. I'm not putting them in the boxes.
Yeah, let them ride.
Nice.
Punisher. Hey, isn't that a trademark emblem right there? Isn't that like the Punisher from Marvel?
Yeah, that's the Punisher. Yeah.
Can he do that?
I mean, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Like they spray paint that on their gear all the time. Like,
yeah,
I don't think anybody cares.
And I'll give this box to my boys. They'll absolutely love it.
Is it weird that there's no comments that have come in yet? It makes me nervous because there's like a bunch of people watching, but
maybe we have the comments. Maybe we have the comments turned off. Oh yeah, that is really weird. Usually the comments are just pouring in.
Yeah.
Who's watching that?
Where's
Can you
the
check
crew?
What?
So where's the crew?
Yeah, someone say something in the comments. What the fuck is going on? Oh, do I have comments turned off? Is this show public?
Yeah, it's gotta be public because I could see the count here.
Unless those are people just logging on and we're not public. Yeah, someone would have made a comment by now. Something.
Oh, there are tons of comments.
Something is.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up on my YouTube, and there's a bunch of people commenting.
Something
Why
is.
can't we see it? Something is amiss.
Hello,
oh,
I'm from Fresno, Nora Matosi.
no. That's a
Look,
Facebook one.
Oh, that is. That's our only Facebook listener. Same last name as me. I wonder if she's related to me.
Nah, doubt it.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Is it set as like unlisted or something?
No, but I just realized I forgot to invite the guest on that I didn't tell you about. Hold on, here we go.
Wait, there's a surprise guest.
Oh, I didn't get anything. Email. Okay.
I just got nervous when he said that my palms got sweaty.
Yeah. So there's a friend of mine that I met many years ago who is in Ottawa. And I asked him if I could ask him some questions about what's going on there. You guys want me to? His name's Jay Nera. Should we have him on?
Yeah.
And then I want to talk to you about
comments in the YouTube.
Okay. Email sent. Okay, so I can't see the comments tonight.
Oh, there they are.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Did you do something?
Yeah, I changed it. I looked at the YouTube settings and I changed it. It was listed as private.
Oh shit! Really?
So I just changed it to public, and now here they are.
Oh shit! That means all the people who originally logged into the show were just there from the email that went out. That's crazy. Wow! Wow!
That's kind of cool, actually.
Oh, so you guys missed all my shit about the spawn? I guess they'll hear it in the recording.
No, because somebody said like
they were watching.
Coffee is free. That's a dildo.
Wait, where is there a dildo?
It's the bottle breacher, I think.
Oh, it could be. So it looks like something.
Dick butter.
God.
I got people to start blaming me. Get it together. Thanks, David.
Hey, it's crazy it's crazy. I've been thinking more about that Noble thing. It's crazy that people think that they owe the athletes money. Like I was thinking about what would I do if I was an athlete and they were selling a shirt with my. First of all, not all the athletes. Like I think some of those athletes who are complaining, they don't even make a shirt with your name on it, so you wouldn't even make $1. So shut the fuck up.
You saw my comment. I was pissed. I was furious.
And it's like the people who complain about the people who fly in first class. You know they're subsidizing the flight, right? You know those tickets are just stupid expensive and they're subsidizing the flight for you fuckers back in coach. And I just think they think that they don't realize that Noble puts on this enormous risk to do this, to print out the shirts, to put up money. So if you wanted money from those shirts, why wouldn't you like maybe contact the people at Noble and be like, hey, just offer up some value to it. Be like, hey, I'm going to be at the games and I saw you're doing a shirt with my name on it. Let me know if you want me to come to your booth and sign some shirts for free. I really appreciate the work you guys are doing supporting the sport. Have you thought about that? I mean, you guys are such whiny bitches. It's crazy. It's seriously, you're as dumb as you are fit, some of you. I really mean that with all sincerity. Your show. Thank you. It is my show. And from the dark, we have Jay Nera.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
We can. We can barely see you. Are you a white man or a black man?
Neither.
You don't have to answer that.
All right. Well, shit. How am I supposed to judge you then? You are in. What did they turn the power off in Canada?
Sorry, I'm driving in my truck. I don't have very good lighting in here.
It's perfect. Doesn't matter. Even better. Mysterious. I know there's a professional YouTuber. He used to be a professional arm wrestler. Now he's a professional YouTuber called Devin Lorette. And I was in Canada filming with Devin 10 years ago for the CrossFit Journal. And I met Jay Nera. He was a power lifter who was working out in the same, dungeon that Devin was working in. And it was actually Jay was the first person ever to show me one of those weightlifting suits, a weightlifting shirt. And then also he's the first man I ever saw from a standing jump onto the roof of a car without running. I'd actually never seen anyone running do it, but he did it standing there. And now he's my source for information coming out of Canada. How's that for an introduction?
Not bad, not bad. Yeah,
Jay,
I just saw
what's
Devin
your
yesterday?
what's your Instagram so we can put it on the on your where your name is?
So I have I have 3 Instagrams because they all get shadow banned. So I kind of juggle through them all. My main one
Okay.
is Jay Neezy, JayNeezy 2100. That's my main account, but you gotta type every single letter to the very end just for that to show on Instagram. My other one is J_Nera_3.0. That's my
Oh yeah,
backup.
okay. That's the one I see. Okay.
Okay, and then that's the one I use the least. And then there's
Okay.
my my political page, which is PPC_strong_and_free. PPC strong and free.
And you ran for office in Canada.
Yeah, I ran for a member of parliament in the last federal elections.
Was that hard? Was that scary?
Not really, in the sense where I'm a pretty good public speaker. I've done a lot of public speaking my whole life, so I'm very comfortable getting in front of crowds, and I'm actually pretty good at riling them up. The hard part was the going door to door in the most liberal city in what I think all of North America, probably. I've had a lot of people in the same hour. I had some people call me a POC, a token POC for the People's Party of Canada, and a racist.
Wow.
Depends on the door I knocked on. So
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah,
What happened? What happened? Did the Democrats change as a party, or did my perspective change? What's happened? I'm 49 years old. What when I was growing up, they were the tree hugging, peace loving, support poor people, and now they're the lying racist party. Like, what the fuck happened? Or were they always that and I wasn't aware? Like, I had been indoctrinated. I was brainwashed.
They've always been like that. It's how far they push the Overton window. You guys familiar with that term?
No, sir.
Yeah. So the Overton window is kind of like what is acceptable within a society to discuss what political opinions and subjects are acceptable. There's a very small window of what's acceptable. And then what you do is, so if we're talking about the United States, because you guys are there, it makes more sense, is we can talk about like Alexandria Ocasio. She's an actress who's put in there to push the Overton window. She says the craziest stuff that no one would ever even think about saying, right? She's full globalist Marxist, like crazy stuff, like universal basic income. Like she makes Bernie look soft. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
she's racist to the core. She gets away with saying some of the most racist shit I've ever heard fucking come out. Yeah. Well, same with Biden. I can't believe what Biden gets away with. Trump, the whole last few years. Okay, sorry. Overton window. Okay.
Sorry. So you have someone, and what they do is they say the most extreme stuff. So they pull that window wide open, and then what they accept is less than that. But now the conversation got pulled that way.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to. And then what they do is on the other side, they cancel, they demonize everyone who's trying to push other conversations for, say, like more conservative things. Like in Canada right now, everyone who is like a freedom lover is somehow called an anti-vaxxer. And everyone who's an anti-vaxxer is considered a misogynist or a racist, according to our prime minister. Mm-hmm. That's insane. So now what happens is, if you're trying to have a freedom conversation, because so many people do not critically think for themselves, that labeling, that grouping of labels and representation of people gets put in there. So if someone says, hey, I love freedom, I'm kind of against these lockdowns, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer, and it goes as far as calling them a flat earther. Just like, and it works the other way. Like if someone says a real liberal, I'm thinking like a really overweight, pale person with tons of facial piercings and green hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We do that. Yeah. Like both of us do that. We group people. We have our minds have this tendency to be very tribal and to place other people into boxes as well.
Yeah, and another thing, when I think of the right, I think of all the women as having fake tits and tons of Botox in their face and being fake as fuck.
Yeah.
You're right. So, I mean,
Goes both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, man, it's fascinating. It's like this whole thing specifically around race and this thing, the critical race theory and things like affirmative action. I would be so much more happy if they just said what it was. So, like, if you're going to, like, we're gonna have Jorge Ventura on tomorrow night. He was supposed to be on tonight. And one of the things he was doing is in this documentary he made. It's called Indoctrination Nation. And one of the things that they did in there was there's a high school in Fairfax County, Virginia, and it's called Thomas Jefferson High School. And it was the best high school in the United States, public high school. And it was 70% Asian. So that what they say is that they're going to change the requirements to get in because they wanted less Asians in there. And I just wish that they would just admit it. Hey, we're going to do some racist shit. Like, don't couch it as something else. Just be on, hey, we're going to do some racist shit and block people for their race. Instead, they're like, those Asian people are now white. They started calling them white Asians. It's like, dude, like the word fuckery that we're dealing with in the line is nuts. It's same with the January 6th thing. We had one town called Ferguson where they did $700 million worth of damage with fire and all sorts of crazy shit. We had a bunch of dudes storm our Capitol that's like no big deal at all, that could have easily have been stopped, that did $30 million damage, and it's called an insurrection. Like somehow if they would have got the Capitol, they'd still be running the country. I mean, it's like, it's fucking nuts. They show the dudes in there sitting on the floor talking on the cell phones with their wives, like talking to the security guard. He's like, dude, you guys got to go.
Yeah, excuse me, guys. This is a sacred place.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, do you guys need medical? You're good? Okay, just checking.
Oh man. More people are like 30 times more people are killed every weekend in Chicago than were killed at that Capitol riot. It's nuts. It's nuts. And then when you look up the transcript and you look and it says Trump says to march peacefully, the response is like, well, we know what he meant. Like, you do? Okay, so what is this thing? Is this thing in Ottawa? Those of us in the United States are getting pretty excited, and we're seeing like the same playbook that we see here in the United States. Anytime anyone stands up for their freedoms, they're calling them white supremacists. They're saying all this crazy shit. What is going on there, and how close are you to it, and have you seen it?
So I just came from there. That's why I'm in my truck.
From the city of Ottawa.
From the city of Ottawa, I was there. I've been there Friday night. So the kind of just when some of them were rolling in, I was there all day Saturday, and then I just went back tonight to see what's going on. And there's still tons of people there. There's tons of trucks. They have been barricaded out of the city. So there are a lot of convoys sitting in the outskirts of the city. There are like one of our parkways is just filled with trucks, but it's far from downtown. And I wouldn't even say far. It's just another like 7 or 8 minutes from downtown. They blocked some bridges from one of our from Quebec, one of the provinces, so people couldn't get in. So there's a lot of trucks that are nearby, like thousands and thousands and thousands of them, but they can't get downtown. And then downtown, what they've done is they've taken a lot of big snowplow trucks, and well, even like construction vehicles, more like it, and they've blocked many of the streets. So it's not nearly as packed with trucks as it could be.
It's kind of funny. They block the streets to block the people from blocking the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah.
We'll block it first. Have you seen any violence?
I haven't seen any. We've seen like there's one picture of the agent provocateur going around with a Confederate flag.
I did see that guy.
Yeah. And then we saw another one with a Nazi flag, which was kind of weird because it was on the same pole as a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which like that doesn't like, you know what I mean, guys? Like,
yeah.
That just doesn't make
They're
sense.
two very opposite ideas.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird, but we've seen that. And then I actually got a message about 10 minutes ago that there's a situation that looks like it might light up in one part of downtown, where there's a lot of what seems to be fake protesters and agent provocateurs. And I got a lot of pictures of all the cops starting to surround the place. So maybe something's going to happen. A couple of my friends are going to check it out right now. So I'll probably find out more on that in a little bit.
what is the, like, if someone were to ask me, and I'm open to being told I'm totally wrong. If someone were to ask me like what's going on in this country, I would say that well, let me throw this in there. We oh, hold on, it's my wife. Hi.
Hi.
Can you turn the printer on? I forgot to print my notes, and then I'll print them from here. Just turn the printer on, and I'll print my notes in a minute. I mean, I have them here digitally. I just would like them on paper.
Okay.
Thank you. And look beautiful when I'm done with the pod. Look beautiful when I'm done with the podcast. So when I come in there, I'm aroused, please. Thank you. Okay. Love you. Bye. All right. So, we weren't live, were we?
No, you're good.
So we had a guy on from Canada the other day, and he basically said that 92% of your country is vaccinated, but that 50% of the people basically don't want it to be mandated, and the other 50% do. And so that basically 40% of the people who are vaccinated, or 50%, whatever the numbers are, realize that like they got it for themselves. He also said some other stuff that just wasn't true, but that's fine. And that's fine. In our country, we've known since the beginning that Dr. Fauci and the WHO said best case scenario, this thing stops you from dying and stop spread, but we're pretty sure it doesn't stop spread, but it can maybe mitigate death. And they've been, I feel like they've been honest about it the whole time, but people just haven't been listening, right? I mean, somewhat honest, and that's what's crazy. That like people are shocked that like that they took the shot and that they're still getting it. Like they've known that all along, and that's why some concepts like herd immunity and whatnot were impossible. And so what we're going through in this country is we're going through a massive coercion. It's not quite as bad as what I'm seeing in your country. What I'm seeing in your country is I'm pretty sure I saw your president say that if you don't get the injection, it's racist people who aren't getting the injection. Did you hear him say that Trudeau dude?
Yeah, he went on it. It was in Quebec, so it was in French. So maybe he thought he could get away with it with the rest of Canada, but he pretty much said that the unvaxxed are the problem and that they are primarily racist and misogynists. And then at the end of like his little rant, he says something along the lines of we have to consider whether or not we should tolerate these people.
Yeah, and then I heard that I saw some other video where they're teaching kids in Canada that people who aren't vaccinated should go to jail.
Yes. Yeah, and some people looked into that, and the kids who were saying that were actors and actresses.
Wow, look at this. What a nasty crew of those anti-vaxxers out of mercy, I presume. The righteous Justin Trudeau didn't throw in the rest of the story that most anti-vaxxers have a big unsightly lumps on the back of their heads using kittens as doorstops and gasp, don't recycle. Should we tolerate them? He asked. Holy shit. Holy shit. Hey, does he know that he's a bad person? And when you said AOC, they put her in as an actor. You think that I've never even thought of it like that.
Oh, she's an actress. Yeah, she's pretty much admitted that there's stuff out there. You can find it.
That's not just wackadoodle conspiracy shit.
No, there's stuff out there where she I can't remember the wording she used, but she says like something along the lines how she was chosen to do this, to act her part. She says it. I've seen the videos before.
Oh,
sounds crazy, but
yeah. It sounds fucking
it's
nuts.
legit.
It sounds nuts. And does this guy Trudeau know that he's behaving like a fucking Nazi segregationist? I don't use that term lightly. Does he know that he's like these things, like how inflammatory they are? Or does he think he's doing, you don't think he knows?
Of course he does. I think Justin Trudeau is much smarter than people think he is. And he just plays a dummy very well. He plays like a dumb drama teacher very well. He is. So I think one thing that a lot of people just need to acknowledge right off the bat is Justin Trudeau in September 2020 did say this pandemic presents an opportunity for us to take advantage. It's an opportunity for us to push the pre-pandemic agenda for 2030. Okay, so he's talking about the 2030 agenda. He says, let's use this pandemic. Our Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, is one of the board members of the World Economic Forum, who wrote the book, The Great Reset, and the book, The COVID Great Reset. and they do Davos, right? And they're responsible for Agenda 2030. So that's our Minister of Finance. So we have that, and then on TV recently, not TV, but you can find a video of it that was released recently. It wasn't in our mainstream media, is what I'm getting at. Klaus Schwab, the director of the World Economic Forum, recently said he's very proud of Justin Trudeau, and he was bragging about having more than half of his cabinet. Okay, so he has more than half of his cabinet on board. And then if you go to canada.ca through our government website, so if you type canada.ca Agenda 2030, then there's a PDF document, it's 45 pages, which is Canada's version of Agenda 2030. So when people are looking at this whole thing with like this myopic view that this is about COVID, that alone is a big problem, because COVID is just an introduction. It's just the first chapter of a long story, which is Agenda 2030, the Great Reset, Davos, Agenda 2050. And the thing is, like, people can say conspiracy theory all they want at this point, but it's not covert, it's not overt, it's blatantly out there. It's in our
hidden
faces.
plain view.
Yeah, like, so for people to just not acknowledge it, to me, is pretty ridiculous. It's literally like sticking your head in the sand and ignoring it, and like ignoring it, like as in like ignorant in the truest sense of ignoring, as opposed to being nescient.
It's scary. It's scary, Jay.
Yeah, and Canada,
it's scary.
Canada is full of people who just are too uncomfortable to acknowledge that, you know what, maybe the government isn't this beautiful, wonderful entity that's there to do everything for me, right? They literally, there's so many people I've talked to, like, what do you mean our government is doing this to us, right? It doesn't even matter, like, name me a government that hasn't taken advantage of a crisis.
We had a Canadian on the other day, and he said something that was such a red flag to me. He goes, well, they're like parents that just went too far. And I'm like, ooh, God. They're like parents that went too far. Hey, it's scary. It's hard to acknowledge. You're freaking me out now when you say it, but I do realize it, because I speak to people every day who look at the world through a paper towel roll, and they just refuse to pull it down and see the big picture.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, because as long as you can tell yourself some crazy truths if you look at the world myopically, as you said.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem is, I don't think people realize how much indoctrination we are all under. Not like our kids, not us, even our parents, how much we have been indoctrinated. Like, if I were to ask you right now, what is the purpose of the law? I don't know how well all you guys could answer that. And that's something we should all be able to answer. And because the majority of people can't answer that, what happens is everywhere we look is a perversion of the law and the purpose of the law.
What is the purpose of the law? It's funny you say that, because I actually am starting to hear this conversation, and that makes me happy. I'm starting to hear the conversation of elected officials like re-emphasizing that they're public servants, that they're to serve us. But what is the purpose of the law?
Yeah, let's take it all back. Like, let's strip away. Let's like say, should we even have a government, and why? So people are going to say, well, we need a government for laws, because a government would be a monopoly of force, as opposed to having like competing governments, competing police forces. We say, let's just have one. Okay. So it's a monopoly of force is what you're doing when you're creating a government. So why do we need this? Well, we need it to enforce the law, right? That's why there has to be a monopoly of force. It's to enforce laws. And why do we need laws?
So that things are safe, so that we're safe. Sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. So why do we need laws? Well, when people were thinking about, forming governments and why do we need laws, they're not saying, oh, we need a law to create a policy so that people need licenses to sell alcohol. Like, no, that's not what anyone was thinking. It was, we need a law so that, Savan can't take all of Caleb's money. He can't walk over to his house, hold him at gunpoint, and take all of his stuff, right? Or that he can't just shoot him. Or that he can't hold him hostage and keep him from doing things, or coerce him into making decisions he doesn't want to make. So what we're really talking about is, and it's in the American Constitution, is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and private property, those types of things, right? So your person, which is, your physical being, your private property, things that you've created, the fruits of your efforts, and your pursuit of happiness. Okay, those are the three things. And every single one of those things depends on the other. Like your person, if I shoot your person, well, you can't enjoy your private property and you can't make the choices you would have made otherwise, right? And if you have private property and a healthy body, a healthy person, but I coerce you from exercising your reason and making your own choices, being an individual, then you still don't have freedom, right? So all of those things they depend on one another. And what those really are, and this is where it starts getting interesting, and this is like me bringing out my own touch philosophically, is
Please.
that's your past, present, and future. Your past is your private property, your present is your person, and your future is your pursuit of happiness.
Oh, I like that.
So what you do with your person, the things, like when you create something, that's your private property. Like, would you spend a day or a year to build your own house and then you build the house and then someone just comes and takes it?
Right.
You wouldn't have built the house in the first place, right? And then what's the point in having this house or having your person if you can't choose what to do with your own house? Like, let's say you wanted to put a basketball net for your kids in front, and so everyone's like, no, you can't. It's like, well, it's my house. Like, so it's protecting all three of those things is the purpose of the government. And a lot of people just never, like, this is the thing we should have been taught in like maybe grade 4 or grade 5.
Yes.
But we weren't. Like, I didn't even learn this until maybe like 6 or 7 years ago when I started reading Frederick Bastiat. Okay. He's a French philosopher, French economist, sorry.
Hey, it's really cool, by the way. Could be a whole nother episode that you put happy as the future, because happiness is really unattainable. What it is it's a byproduct of what you do in the present. And anyway, I just really liked it how you put it out there like that. It is the ultimate carrot. I'm not saying you shouldn't pursue happiness, but you should pursue something in the present, and then you will the byproduct will be happiness. And it also touches home with me too, because the new leadership of CrossFit has put happiness as one of the goals of CrossFit. And it's fucking insane. It just shows like they've completely lost their way from when Greg Glassman just had metrics and science, and now it's gone to fucking wokeism. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off, Jay.
It's all good. So that's ultimately what the purpose of the law is. And those three things, all you have to do to protect, like if the four of us live in our own village, all we have to do to support everyone else's like private property, person, and pursuit of happiness is leave the other person alone.
Yeah. And
Leave
if you're
alone.
not leaving, yes, exactly.
So that's what you call negative rights. And
the law is so that when I'm working in the field, you don't come to my house and rape my wife.
Exactly. Yeah, and take everything I own, and yeah.
It's not to tell me that how many horses I can keep on my property.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what they've done is they've expanded that definition of safety now, which is just fascinating me, to force people to take drugs. When I was in college, I wrote this paper just for myself, and it was called The Theory of Everything. And I had been reading. I had gone to I had read a couple of Stephen Hawking's books, and then I had actually gone to Cambridge or Oxford, wherever he was, on an exchange, not even exchange program. I just went to the University of London for 6 months to go to school, and I went to where Hawking was. I thought I was going to get to meet him, but he was gone. I actually went to his house and knocked on his door. He lived on campus. Was it Oxford or Cambridge? Anyway, and one of the premises of The Theory of Everything is that we live in a society where people want to add things to make things better, but that's not the truth. The truth is we need to simplify things to get to make our lives better. We need to reduce things. I'm going to have trouble connecting these. Bear with me here. But basically, we have a society that thinks that like you can take pills, you can take vitamin C, you can take vitamin D, you can get your insulin, you can get fake titties put in. You can like they're looking to just keep adding things, and that's not it. Add laws, more laws, pile in more laws, and that is not where this this ideal life is. The ideal life is quite the opposite. It's to get rid of things. It's to stop eating cookies. It's to find happiness inside without getting a Botox injection. It's to accept who you are and what you have. And it's just this, it's going in this complete opposite direction. And it's it's going too far. Well, it's like, what was the term you used that AOC is doing? What'd you call it?
Oh, pushing the Overton window.
Yeah, the Overton window. But it's scary. What you're saying is that's the plan. The plan is to push things too far, to push out 30 feet and then come back just 10 feet, and they still got 20 feet on us.
Yeah, and what you're actually describing is the Hegelian dialectic as well, right?
Yes, the Hegelian, yes, the Hegelian.
Yeah, you got a problem, and then you provide a solution, and the solution is just completely out there. So then you find a synthesis between the two, and then people accept it. But what they accepted is something that they never would have accepted before the crisis and the ridiculous solution were proposed.
Yeah, it's. I heard someone from I think it was from the UK say, "Well, at least things are good now. At least now we can go outside." I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
That's how that works.
Yep.
They injected all your children with a fucking experimental drug, and you're saying at least we can go outside?
Yep.
I was at the beach today, and I saw a child who was a dear friend of my son. He was a boy. We were at the beach, and the boy walks up, and he's with his mom and his sister, and the mom and sister aren't masked, and the boy is masked. He's 6 months older than my son. He's 7.5. And usually when the boy would see my son, he would get so excited, and he was like a zombie. And I tried to say hi to him. He wouldn't make eye contact with me. His mom, it was fucking bizarre. And I'm the whole time thinking, oh my God, did wearing a mask for the last 2 years ruin this boy? My son's trying to talk to him. The kid won't say hi. He's all jacked up.
Sad. Jay, from your
Wait a
perspective-
second. Stephanie, Christina, Savon, you just said Craig Ritchie is living the dream because his girlfriend just got fake boobs. Disgusting. Yeah, that may have been facetious. I want to say congratulations to Craig Ritchie, by the way. I think he just won. I just keep seeing he's a British champion. I don't know what he did.
It's Olympic weightlifting.
Okay. I promise you Jay Vera can power snatch and press more than whatever he fucking whatever. And if you don't believe me, go to his Instagram. I called you Jay Vera. I know a Jay Vera. Jay Nera.
Jay, from your perspective, who does the Great Reset benefit the most?
Like it's not one group of people, and it kind of depends how far down the rabbit holes you go. If I were to say how far down the rabbit holes I am, you guys would think I'm absolutely insane. So I'm gonna keep away from it. But we'll just say there's a very
But they're just people, right, Jay? They're just people.
Just a very large group of people who already have a lot of control and want to maintain control. And one of the things on their agenda is also to depopulate society. I'll just say,
but they're just people. They're just people.
What do you mean?
Like
So you can just
you
go
say you're
shoot
far
'em.
down the rabbit hole. They're not aliens. They're human beings like me and you.
Define alien.
All
Are
right.
they extraterrestrials or aliens?
And
what's extraterrestrial being extra territories?
No, but I mean, are they like there's the Taoist saying there are no demons here, it's just people.
Yeah, I assume they're people, but at
Okay.
this point, I'm open to a lot of crazy things.
Okay, right.
But I'll just leave it at it. If we were to say it, I'll just say all of the interests that are there with Vanguard and BlackRock is the great place for people to start, and then if they go further down the rabbit holes from there, that's up to them.
Right.
But Vanguard and BlackRock have pretty much this whole world under control right now. And
Yeah,
the
I
families,
got all my money in Vanguard.
You will own nothing and like it and be
Yeah.
happy.
yeah,
Is that I've heard that. You'll own nothing and be happy.
yeah, that's part of the Great Reset, which is just global communism, global Marxism when you think about it.
Well, yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
And is BLM all part of that too?
they are I wouldn't say they necessarily agree with it. They're just kind of like an arm of it. They're like a tool. Yeah, I think a tool is a better word. Antifa, BLM, they're just like little devices that they use to disrupt things to help them push narrative, which helps push the bigger thing.
which is kind of what you're seeing in Canada, where they don't like a peaceful unity of people is the only thing that could really take this down. So if you implant a few of those tools, like you were saying, to cause disruption, it could feed into the narrative that the media is sending out there. So then therefore people go, oh, see, the media was true. It is a bunch of racists. They are just out for destruction.
Yeah. So what's happened right now is everywhere around the world, these massive uprisings are happening. But a lot of them are getting media blackouts, and some of them are even getting complete internet blackouts. Like Kazakhstan had an internet blackout. I think a little bit of Australia had an internet blackout for a little bit, some pockets. But they just really didn't want us seeing what was happening. And the media just completely ignores a lot of the protests that are going on. Or they downplay them by like 90%. You know, oh, we have 500 people here when maybe like, 10,000 showed up. So
it's great. It's interesting what you're saying too. None of this is a secret. It's not like anyone can just go find this stuff. Like you can like when they said that and this is actually one of the things that flipped the script on me when they started saying that Trump was a racist and they said a bunch of stuff about Mexicans. I'm like, really? And I started looking it up and I realized, no, actually he didn't say what they were saying he said. And then when I saw that, then the Capitol riot thing, in January 6th, that they said that he told them to go storm the Capitol. And then I went and looked and he said, no, go peacefully. And I started just seeing lie after lie after lie. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, it doesn't even matter what the truth, like the truth is just right there in front of us. And then Matt just said it too. That was fantastic the way you said that, Matt, that they don't want peace. The only way to stop these people is through peaceful protest. Peaceful protest puts a stop to them, and they don't want it. That's why they put in those bad actors. Hey, are they gonna get Joe Rogan?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel about Joe Rogan, to be honest. I'm very deep into the hybrid warfare kind of stuff. I'm writing a book,
like the psyop shit.
Yeah, I'm actually writing a book called Determination of Truth, which I'm about 70,000 words into now, and I cover a lot of social engineering and psychological considerations for this. And I think that these people have been planning these things for a very long time, and they're much more strategic and much more ubiquitous than we think. And there are certain people that they tell to voice up at certain times to try to maintain credibility. I mean, Joe Rogan wasn't saying stuff a year ago when a lot of crazy stuff was happening.
Right. I mean, he was a Bernie guy.
Yeah. So
he endorsed Bernie.
Yeah. So my rule right now, one thing that I've been tweeting and posting a lot is anyone who hasn't spoken up all year, but has been speaking up within the last 2 months, really take a look at and don't trust. Don't trust them.
Wow.
Don't trust them at all.
Wow.
We have a Canadian politician right now he's a conservative and he's yelling about freedom, this, that, and the other ever since a trucker convoy got big. And he's been silent about freedom for the last 2 years. We've had my mom was a nurse and she got fired because she didn't want to take the jab.
Yeah, but Jay, we were talking about people have to eventually. What was the original thing we called the Winderton? What was that called?
Overton window.
Overton window. The Overton window. There are people that are going to flip the script when you push too far, right? Like, for instance, I might have not been talking up since I may have just gone along with this, except that I could never put a mask on my kids. So from day one, I'm like, fuck you. I ain't doing that. But what about people like you and I were speaking about a mutual friend today that we've seen finally come out and be vocal? Why just the last 2 months? Doesn't that make it so we're not giving room to people to wake up?
Yeah, I was more specifically talking about people who are authority figures and leaders in society. I understand that some people have to put food on the table and they're trying to do other things, but I'm talking about politicians, major CEOs of corporations, people whose impact whose words are so impactful that for them to be silent is very, very, I can't even think of the word, just suspect. Right?
Yeah, it's. I think there there was definitely a time when I was like, wow, Rogan knows, like he has to know. Like he was dancing around the idea that he knew that only unhealthy people were dying from this, that basically we were seeing a chronic disease tsunami, and that it was a complete betrayal of himself and denial to be like, to not see that. I mean, it was so fucking, it's been so obvious since day one, so obvious. And then all of a sudden he flipped the script. And he was like, he started saying, yeah. And then he said that the young men shouldn't take the vaccine. And it's like, I just saw him walking it back. It's been more than 2 months. And the same with Russell Brand. I saw him flip the script. And the reason why I hear you, I'm open to the fact that maybe they're actors, and I appreciate you being patient with me. I know that you're showing a lot of restraint, that you've thought a lot of stuff through already. Is that it's hard to make the shift. Like I consider myself a very awake person, and yet, I was raised to be a Democrat, right? And I didn't realize when you live in a world of duality, it's hard. It's hard to, like, you know. And now a lot of people are like, "Hey, Sevon, be careful. Just because you're dumping the Democrats, don't jump over to the Republicans." And that's kind of like what you're saying, like, "Hey, be careful. It's a game. So the whole thing is." The whole thing is a whole. Don't see it as parts. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, one of the things I've heard was like they say, hey, there's a Democrat, listen to this guy. Hey, there's the conservative, listen to this guy. I'm on this side, I'm on this side. And then somebody stops and goes, wait, who's that guy in the middle? Controlling both the puppets.
Yeah. I think something too is like some people, it's also a question of like what they think of the media, their perception of the media. And I think it was Mark Twain had a quote along the lines of like, when you're thinking the same thing as the majority, it's time to stop, you know, take a step back and really, really think some more, because it means you're probably not thinking. So I think that comes naturally to some people. Like there's some people, like I don't like authority. I've never really had a job other than teaching English in Japan. Like I've not answered to anyone. I've always been self-employed. And it's because I have trouble with authority. Like if I don't think you're smarter than me or gonna make me better, I have a hard time listening, right? I'll question. I'll say why, and a lot of people don't like that. So I think some people have that innately, and some people don't. The people that don't have that innately, sometimes they need something big to happen. So I can see where you're coming from. Maybe Rogan kind of needed, but I mean. How many hundreds of millions of dollars is that guy making? Like, what? There's got to be a certain point. I don't know if I can swear on here. So the FU money.
Yeah, you can swear all you want.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's had fuck you money for a long time now, right? So it's not like he needed to pander to Spotify or whatever,
right?
You know, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to say this because I think it's true, and I'm not here to be a liar. I'm not here to be a puppet. So he could have done that a long time ago. So I just don't know either he is a puppet or he's a coward. He's trying to play safe. I don't know. I just know that the information, like, as we're all saying, it's not new. I mean, like, we know that the 4 comorbidities thing has been out there for well over 14, 16 months now. Right?
Joe has just started to see the BS and is starting to speak up just like Sevon. I'm not just starting to speak up. I've been speaking up for 2 years. I never ever fell for it. I want to be super duper clear. My wife was like, well, you believed it for a second. No, I never believed it for a second because I can do 3rd grade math. Never. I knew it was the comical. Joe's just started to see the BS and is starting to speak up just like Sevon and many others. I hate to say it, but this guy sounds like he still thinks Trump is secretly president. What, he hasn't said anything about Trump. What is this guy? What the fuck? How did that guy make that leap? You sound like you're smoking crack. He never went. I hate to say it, but this guy sounds like. Does anyone think Trump is still president? Is that Jay? Do you think Trump is still president?
It's actually funny that he says that because it's quite the opposite. We're talking about like I'm slowly kind of talking about things like controlled opposition and such like that, and I would actually venture to say that, you know, just like we're saying, you know, 2 wings of the same bird. Well, Trump's just another wing of the same bird.
What ethnicity are you?
Yeah.
My father's Filipino. My mother's Native and Irish.
Native meaning native to Canadian. Those are what we call Eskimos.
No, Iroquois, Mohawk, and Métis.
Oh.
So Métis like French Canadian mixed.
Why'd
with
you
our
guys laugh?
natives.
Are you not? Is Eskimos like, no, you can't say that word anymore?
It's funny.
Yeah, it just sounds funny. I don't know. Eskimos are the guys who are really far north.
I just figured like if you lived like below the border, you're Indian, feather, not dot. And then if you lived above that imaginary line, you were Eskimo. That's just how I saw it.
No, Eskimos are more like
Even further
Yeah,
north.
yeah. They're way up there.
All right, fine. So you're big.
Yeah. Well, I'm not as big as I used to be, but yeah, I was sitting
And-
around like when
but
I was
why-
power.
How are you? How are you? But you're tall too. Like you're a big man. Like what? Tell me what you are. Irish, not big. Yeah, you're giant. God, you have amazing burpees too. By the way, I love your burpees. You're so explosive off the ground.
That's all I do now is tons of burpees.
Really?
Yeah, that was 585 for a set of 10 with no belt. That what you were showing.
Damn. With steel plates, it looked like.
I had one big bumper in the middle, so I could
Oh.
drop it if I needed to.
Yeah, I like that steel plates. It's kind of like fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are. Isn't that? Oh yeah, this is a beautiful video too. I showed my son this. He got all excited. This is old, right?
Yeah, it's old. I do these all the time. Big fan of burpees now. Well, triple pump burpees.
Yeah.
Doing with single push-up burpees are just too exhausting for me.
Have you had COVID yet?
I don't know. It's a funny question because I really don't know. There's 3 or 4 instances where I might have had it. One of my doctors thinks I had it January 2020, right before it hit, because I had a really nasty cough that wouldn't go away. I was having trouble breathing. And he eventually gave me Zithromax or Zithromycin. And then it finally started to get better. And it passed through tons of people in my family.
Yeah.
And for everyone, it didn't help until we got the Zithromax. The guy who gave it to me, he had it. His girlfriend had it. His girlfriend's roommate had it. And everyone, it didn't help till the Zithromax. So we're not sure if it was a lung infection or if it was COVID. None of us lost taste and smell. And then I've had a really bad cough again the next Christmas. And then in April last year, I had a cough with a little bit of an achy body, and I lost my sense of smell and taste for about 2 weeks. But I felt fine. Like the achiness went away.
You did lose your taste and smell?
Yeah, it was hilarious. I was like spraying cologne like
Did you lose a
directly on
shitload
my
of weight?
hand.
Did you lose a shitload of weight?
No, I just didn't
Oh.
work out for a couple days.
My wife lost her taste and smell, and she said like it was great. She just didn't want to eat anymore. And I thought, wow, that should be the fucking diet pill. You eat a pill that fucking makes your smell and taste go away for a week, and you just don't want to eat.
It did work.
Yeah, fuck. Someone should come. Hey, if someone runs with that idea, Pfizer runs with that idea. Can I get just one
patent pending,
1% of 1%? Please. I just think that would be brilliant. Have you seen the video that Scott Atlas just put up?
No.
Do you know who that is?
He's one of the doctors that Trump liked, I believe, right?
Yeah, but didn't listen to. Trump didn't listen to him.
Okay.
And he just did a lecture at a college recently. He's amazing. Could you pull that up, Caleb, for a second? Just type in Scott Atlas videos and look for the one that was published on January 8th. That one. There it is. Hillsdale College. If you get it's SARS-2 pandemic, will truth prevail? There's some it's all numbers. It's just a giant hour and 30 minutes of numbers. I'm sure you'll love it, but it's a great video. I highly, highly recommend it for anyone on either side. He's just laying out the whole, the numbers game. And one of the things in there that really stood out to me. So I had heard before that you could give a college students a critical thinking exam and then give it to them 4 years later. And the only major where people's critical thinking has increased is economics, which makes sense because economists are really, really in pursuit of the truth, right? Because they're trying to. Is there an animal trying to get into your car?
I was just rolling down the windows because
Oh.
it's getting warm.
Sound like Cujo was outside. Which makes sense because economists are always looking for the truth, right? Like they know which tires are the best for the car that lead to the lowest insurance rates, that lead to the fewest deaths. I mean, they're just trying to make more money. They know that people who eat apples instead of Twinkies, they have the monetary proof by looking at their insurance policies that it's healthier, that the apple's healthier. You don't need any more science than that. The people who eat like this food use less health insurance. So one of the things he says in there, Scott Atlas says in this lecture, in this lecture that I just showed you the video, he says that economists know that the quickest way to hurt a population and increase the death toll is to put them under monetary distress. So anytime you close down businesses, people start dying. Anytime you do anything to hurt a community as a whole through economics, like reduce the amount of money that they have, more people will start to die, which makes perfect sense, right? Stress levels skyrocket. People don't have access to better shit. They buy cheaper shit, eat worse. And I just thought that was fascinating. And he basically says there's no amount of deaths, and he shows the numbers and explains it basically from COVID that would ever match the deaths that will be caused by the economic disaster. And the lecture just goes on and on. Basically, no kids have died and just all that shit, right?
Yeah. So I actually that's what I took in school was economics.
Yeah,
economics.
Sevon.
Yeah, economics and psychology. So happiness and flourishing and production, like flourishing, production kind of being the same thing, but they go hand in hand. And just like you're saying, all metrics move in that direction. And that's you're absolutely bang on with that.
Another thing he says, which is so obvious to me, and I walk the walk. I don't wear a mask. I don't wash my hands any more than I ever did. I don't fucking believe in the injection. I take zero precautions. And I come on here on my podcast and I post on my Instagram. But the truth is that I can afford to do it. The truth is that I can afford to say fuck you. And I realize a lot of people can't say fuck you. And this last 2 years is only hurting poor people. Those of us who have, not that I have a lot of money, but those of us who have an income coming in from things like a rental property, a website where people buy coffee, none of those people are hurting. None of those. And so none of those people have an incentive to stand up. Mine's just, I'll call it like it is. I have fucking outstanding moral integrity, and I have no choice but to stand up because I have 3 boys.
Yeah, and the thing is,
but most people in my position would never fucking stand up. This thing fucking doesn't affect me. Yeah. I'm living the dream.
And in Canada, so he increased the money supply by close to 20% in 2020, which is like crazy, like 1/5, right? So
how do they do that? Just print a shitload of money?
Pretty much, they just create all these programs and policies to help everyone out. Like, will help basically to create dependent people, because they're telling you don't have to work, but we'll pay you. You can close your businesses, but we'll help subsidize some things. But you have to listen to what we say and do what we say in the future if you want to keep getting this help. But they printed all this money, and a lot of the time when you print all this money and you give it to people, the people who spend it first get that dollar value at the current purchasing power. But then as that money circulates in society, then the money supply, the true money supply starts to show. So I'll try and like make it like really like basic, but let's say you have like a single commodity economy and it's like apples or something. The apples, let's just use apples. You have 100 apples and $100. Okay, so right there, $100, $1 an apple. The idea with, stimulating the economy is usually that, let's say we put $20 more into the economy and we give it to the people who are creating apples, is it's going to help them use their unused capacity so that they can produce apples better. Or maybe you make oranges and then you have a 2 commodity society, but we'll stick with the 1 commodity. So now all of a sudden they found a better way, or they had a factory that was sitting there that wasn't being used to make applesauce. And now they have a second factory. So now they're making twice as many apples, right? And now apples are going to cost 50 cents.
Yeah, I'm with
you.
So
that's the stimulation. That's like when it's a good time to stimulate the economy. But what they've done, across like the world pretty much is they do all this stuff, they print all this money to help all these people out, which injects more money into the system, which is diluting people's savings accounts because it's
Right.
taking away the purchasing power.
Right.
And then what they're doing is they're also at the same time telling all these people to close their businesses and to not work. So production and human flourishing go down and there's more money. It's like the exact opposite. It's a nightmare for hyperinflation. If you're to keep doing it over and over, it's a very scary scenario. So then, sorry, I'm just going to keep going.
No, please. Are we in hyperinflation right now?
No, but we're coming up on it. We have high inflation in Canada. We're at like 7% right now, I think. I haven't looked in a couple weeks because it just stresses me out. But what I was getting at was you're talking about how this is mainly affecting poor people and not rich people, or rich people are okay, is with all this inflation and everything, all the prices of houses are skyrocketing. So people who have assets are making tons of money right now. I know people who sold their houses for tons of money and they moved to Florida.
Yeah.
They're laughing. And then they're like, well, we'll see what happens in Canada. But right now I'm making American money while I'm working in the States. And then when I go back to Canada, because the dollar is going to be worth so little compared to the American dollar, I'm going to make another killing.
Right.
Right. So the people with tons of money are just absolutely crushing it right now. And that's one thing we talk about, people speaking up earlier. And I was talking about, be careful who you listen to. Elon Musk is starting to speak up right now. He wasn't speaking up when his wealth was like, have you seen how much his wealth has grown?
Yeah.
I mean, he was the richest man in the world for a second, right?
Yeah, he did. His wealth multiplied by like more than almost everyone else. I'm not sure if he did more than everyone or top 3 at least.
I mean, I think he was talking shit to the IRS, saying like, basically like, hey, I'll sell off a chunk of Tesla so I can pay even more taxes. Or he was doing some smart ass shit. Yeah. Smart alecky.
So sometimes I wonder about the things he's saying as well, but who knows?
Where do you have a source that you trust?
No, I believe in self-curating your content and really focusing on your information processing, like really trying to hunker down on your confirmation biases and just really question everything. Basically, you can't trust anything. You can't. But I'll tell you one thing that seems to be consistent for me is everything, like literally everything that is in the media, like the mainstream media, is either a lie or a half truth. Well,
what's crazy too is it's like a transparent lie. Like there was a story that I was going to cover today on the show, and it's a 26-year-old man who, when he was 17, raped a girl, but then wasn't tried until he was 26, and now identifies with being a woman. And he was found guilty, and they're sending him to a girls' juvenile facility.
What?
It's fucking insane. You can pull up the link, Caleb, if you want. But basically, so to explain it in short, this is a fucking dude who raped a fucking girl as a minor. He was 17 and she was like 10 years old or something. And it was 10 years ago. And he wasn't tried till 10 years later. But they still tried him as a juvenile because he did it when he was a juvenile. But he also switched genders. And we know gender is not real. It's imagination. It's in your imagination, right? So I'm not talking about switch sex, switch genders, switch imagination. And so since he identifies now as a woman, they've incarcerated him 2 years in a juvenile female facility, but he raped a woman. It's fucking nuts. And so it's like, but you have to like go to like the 4 articles before you figure that out, because the news is reporting that it's a woman because they don't want to offend him. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
that's crazy.
The article, the first article says 26-year-old woman goes to juvenile facility for raping a woman. I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't fucking make sense.
Those parts don't fit together, right?
Yeah, they're not. So they're not even high. It's crazy. It's like what you're saying. Like every rabbit hole that you've been down, you must also have to ask yourself, did they leave this here so someone like me would go down it? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. How many rabbit holes are Russian made? Yeah.
And I'm gonna when you say Russian made, I'm gonna take it that you don't mean necessarily Russia. You mean that also as a metaphor, because now the Russian thing is just like everyone's blaming the Russians just for everything, right?
Yeah. Like someone put it like the way to think about it is there is no information in the world that is not put out there with intention. Like everyone, when they're communicating, there's some sort of intention to why they're communicating, especially if it's not just some conversation between us where we're just screwing around like a bunch of guys having a couple beers. But if someone's publishing or creating a website to share information, there's 100% some sort of intention there. And
I have intention. My intention is to make money from this YouTube channel so that I can put food on my table, and to leverage my CrossFit fan base to break out into other subjects like UFC and Jay and politicians and authors, and then also I have the moral obligation because I have 3 boys and I want them to have a world where they can find beautiful, strong, intelligent women and live happily ever after. I mean that. So I have intention too.
Yeah.
So.
Go
ahead.
I was just going to say, so with that intention is how much of it is strategic. That's it. Is just.
What's that mean?
Well, like everyone has intention, but what is the intention? What is the end goal? So the strategic part is what is the big picture and what are they trying to do? And then the intention is what is the intention of this piece? Like, for example,
so they're playing chess and I'm playing checkers. They already have everything I could possibly want, which is a little bit of security for their kids in a supply of food for my family, in a clean park. They have all of that times 1,000. They could build that for themselves in their own backyard. So they've gone out further, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, it's like the intention is to kick you in the shin, but the strategy, the end goal is to punch you in the face.
Right.
Or like the intention.
Yes.
Yeah. The intention is to get people to accept being locked down, wearing masks, take a jab and accept a show me your papers society. But maybe the strategy is to have a mechanism in place where you can attach things like inoculations, digital IDs, your ability to rent, a social credit system.
I'm trying to put gas in my car, and Elon wants to populate another planet because he knows that no matter what, he'll always have enough money to put gas in his car.
Yeah.
He'll have enough assets.
And what's crazy too is like that just shows the perspective. They can think so far ahead. Their strategy can be so deep and project so far into the future because they have so much security in the presence. And I understand it's just a mindset. I'm not playing the victim at all. I understand it's just a mindset. Anyone can get there.
It's like Bezos's 10,000 year clock.
Wow. It does change a little bit when you have kids. Definitely does change a little bit when you have kids. You have kids, right, Jay?
Yeah, I have a son who's going to turn 4 soon. Yeah.
That's right. Is someone going to talk about one last time? Please ask him if the convoy will work. Yes. While I go pee.
He's
will the
asked like
convoy work?
10 times.
Yeah, like, so there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I think I don't want to sound too pessimistic in one way. So I want to start off by saying the best thing that the convoy has done is, like, I don't know if the person asking the question, if you're from Canada, but Canada.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
From Canada. Okay, so as you know, we're a ton of like soft bitches. We're very compliant. I'm from Ottawa. Ottawa is the most liberal place in North America, I would say, definitely in the country. Like when I was campaigning, I was having doors slammed in my face. Like I was treated like, let's just say I've always been a tough guy, but my skin is very thick now. So Canada being very soft, being very compliant. There's a lot of people out there because the media spews such big numbers and makes us look like we are a fringe minority. The perceived reality of people who love freedom feels very small for most people. That's why it's important for all of us to have all these freedom rallies and to have like all these types of walks so that people can kind of meet each other and meet and make community. So across Canada, we had no community. Not really. like maybe a little bit of the PPC when we were running in the federal elections, that community was starting, but we never had this strong sense of community. And now, because of this trucker convoy all across Canada, because all these trucks are coming from all across Canada, we've really seen how strong we've come together. It's the most, to me, it's one of the most romantic things I've seen. It like in my life, especially because, you know, being in Canada, it's just so incredible to see, because it's not just all of the trucks driving by. Like my mom said, an hour and 40 minutes going by Prescott, an hour and 40 minutes, and they're going no slower than 80 kilometers an hour, probably 100 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
But an hour 40 minutes of vehicles with flags. She's like, my arm was so sore, my hands felt like they were freezing off. I counted, I got past 1,000, and then I just gave up. Like she was counting vehicles. And I hear that, like, that is so crazy.
That's
like
awesome.
an hour, 40 minutes. My mom's not like lying. She's like, no, I timed it, you know?
Right.
So I hear that, and we think about all these other ones. Like I was at this one meeting, and like a community meeting, and this one guy's like, yeah, the guy who's staying, doing the Manitoba, he's one of the organizers for the Manitoba convoy, was talking about how one of these convoys, as it was passing through Manitoba, it was stretched out, but as the front end was going into Ontario, the back end was still in Alberta.
Wow.
So it goes across the province. And he's like, yeah,
Wow.
there's like breaks in it, but we're talking about them as a group. He's like, that's how spread out it was. And I hear that, I'm like, this is insane. So the amount of Canadians that have come together, and even just people waving at the, you know, waving at the bridges and such, watching all these people go by. We see the videos, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them at almost every single overpass, even from small towns. The videos are just like, it's infectious. It's contagious to look at. Like you can't not feel that emotional hype. So that tribe of freedom loving people, that
Wrong,
community,
Ontario.
that community is really coming together. And I think that is the most powerful thing right now, because as I was saying, this is Agenda 2030, 2050, the Great Reset, NWO, whichever one you want to call it. It's a big game, right? We got to look at the big picture. We got to look at everything. And in that regard, this convoy has drawn the battle lines and helped us see how big we are. We are so much more than some little fringe. Like that is going to become a thing, you know, fringe minority is going to become a thing. I'm going to make a t-shirt. It's going to say fringe minority. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing to do right now. Like,
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it's amazing. Now, do I think that it's going to do great in Ottawa? So far, it looks ineffective to me, because the police and putting these snowplow trucks and everything up, blocking certain streets so that they can't get in. A lot of, like, in a weird way, I was hoping more of Ottawa would be blocked up so that people could see what it's like to feel like you can't go out, because we've been experiencing segregation where only the jabbed can go out and the unjabbed can't go out. So it would have been nice. It's like, hey, taste some of your own medicine kind of thing. But we would have seen the supply chains going. And as weird as it sounds, I kind of wanted to see the supply chains go a little bit, and maybe we still will, because, you know, all of the intelligent people have packed up for a while, but you want people to, you want people to see what's happened, right? You want people to see the power that, you know, is going on, so that we can pressure the government to make a decision and maybe favor freedom again.
What do you do? How do you respond to people like this? It's so fascinating to me that someone would think, is that a real comment?
Yeah, but they're not.
Like, does that person really think that?
Yeah,
These
it's a
people-
trillion times and want pics. Yes. Yeah, please find the one or two pictures sent out by the media versus
There's
the
literally-
millions of photos. Yeah.
Do you really think
fucking
that?
idiot.
Did you hear the story about what happened to those guys within, like, I don't know, a couple minutes of that?
I
them
saw a
walking around
video of
with it?
those guys getting chased out. I saw a video of I saw a video of one guy getting chased out. Dude, do you? Oh man, it's so amazing.
I think
that
one of the
people still
things
believe that.
I think one of the things that people don't realize is, like, I don't know the percentage, but a huge percentage of truckers are like Indian, Punjabi, Pakistani. Like, so many of our truckers are brown people.
Yeah.
So like when people say that, I'm
Of
just
course,
like,
it's
you have
hard
no
work.
idea what you're saying.
It's like,
Of course.
You know?
I almost feel bad for him. It's almost like you just have to forgive them. You almost want to like see that comment and go, just come here. It's okay. We love you. We know that your thought level is very low, and then you're up. Yeah, sorry. How many Nazi pictures are enough, dude?
Man.
Come on.
Oh man.
Come on. Use that frontal lobe. Use that thing that is inside your head between your ears, please.
Yeah,
please.
and I'm really curious if the person who wrote that has ever looked at an Antifa flag.
Right,
Those look awfully similar
Well,
to
look
Nazi
at
flags.
the thing is look at the name. Look, it's not even. It's like it's always a troll.
You know what? And maybe that's the trap.
It's
Maybe we
so
just fell into the
amazing.
trap, especially me seeing something like that and then almost getting an emotional response to it because you're kind of like, what? How could you think that? And then that division creates, which is exactly probably the intent of that comment and what the media is doing. So
I
it's
know
almost
so.
like you see
Sorry, go
somebody
ahead,
with that Nazi flag, and if everybody in Canada that was in that thing just immediately took a knee to single that one person out, that would probably be the most effective way, because then everybody could be like, look, there they are. Don't fall for it.
It's like this. We have this stat like in 2021, like police officers shot 12 unarmed black men. If you want to look at that stat, and yet, and for some reason, police officers are bad because of that. When you put it in relativity, that stat is so small that it's statistical noise. It may not even have happened because you have to look at the sheer number of fucking killings in the United States every single fucking day that are fucking black on black crime. And so you can't isolate that. If there were 13 people on the planet and police had killed 12 of them, we got a problem. We got a big problem.
When you have 300 million stops a day.
And then all of a sudden, all police are racist. That's the kind of tardedness. It is retarded. It's so bad. I can't believe those people get to vote.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see what would happen if you limited the voting to like 115 IQ. I'm very curious what would happen.
Well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of 50% of the doctors in the United States are retarded. Like seriously, like fucking morons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's why I say I'm curious to see, because a lot of people with, above average IQs are very far to the left as well. It depends how much I think people defer their thinking to consensus.
Yeah, and I think the thing too with like the authority and the doctors and the nurses and the academics that we place on this pedestal is what people have to realize is that they're systems people, right? They're not critically thinking. They're not looking at problems and solving, and they're essentially following the path. They're following the system that's laid out. And even though it might be a complex system, you're still just following a system. You're not problem solving at a higher level.
There's
so
a
we have to
protocol
kind of
for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And what ended up happening, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, and you guys already know this, and probably most of the listeners know this, but what ended up happening is for 2 years, the media then started hating on police. So the police stopped engaging with the public, and now we've had thousands of more deaths than we normally have had, and crime is running rampant in the United States. It's nuts. It is truly nuts. Oh, on a different note, could you play that Luke DeJong video? Do you see that, Caleb, from his Instagram? Could you play that? I'd like to get Jay's take on that video. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's in the notes. Oh, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, while he's looking it up, I just didn't finish that other person's question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there is a chance that we'll have a no confidence, that they'll push a no confidence on Pierre Trudeau, and then if that happens, then that gives us potentially, if it gets passed, a federal election sooner. So,
Check the private chat. That's the wrong one.
This guy's got some Khabib hair.
Yeah, that guy's got quite the fro. We had him on the show. He's a good dude.
24 trophies, fly off the rim like Kobe. Flying the coupe on the floor. She blowing on my phone, I'm ignoring that. Benz goes, king from shake the room. Bride or groom, boy still married to the student. Saw the G on the class, little mama finna shake some. I got this cash, she wants a chance, but I'm still King James with the pass. chains is ice. Racks and beans is price. Yo, chick type.
Okay. You ever have that happen to you, Jay? Just where you just get a big hunk of cock on the front of the bar as you pull it up?
Yeah, that has to do with the length of your arms and whether the package is put in place properly.
The mass of your cock.
The worst is
Oh my
the snatch. The snatch definitely is the worst for that.
Just getting just a big old chunk of cock on there.
I knew one guy. There's one guy who used to come to my CrossFit gym, and he couldn't put his hands in his pockets. He had alligator arms. And he comes up to me and he's kind of says it quietly because, in the class, we'd always do the skill and then the WOD, and we're deadlifting, and he comes up to me. He's really quiet. He's like, Jay, is there anything I can do when I'm deadlifting? Cause it really hurts. It scrapes up my stuff, And then I go and take a look, and the poor guy's arms literally only went to his belt buckle.
Wow.
So when he had to deadlift and we're we teach to drag it up the thigh, and we say balls to bar.
Yeah.
And he literally he would crush himself. The poor guy. So he'd have to put himself in this weird position where he's hanging over the bar and keeping his butt back, like you would do if you had a boner and you're trying to hide it. So you kind of lean forward.
Yeah.
So he'd be deadlifting 300 pounds, and he's trying to get around his junk, and I'm like, oh, this poor guy. Just take the trap bar. Just take the trap bar.
Yeah, that was nice of you.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you hurt your back? You trying to avoid my dick? Just letting the bar swing out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Jay, for coming on the show.
Perfect timing.
I know I said I was just going to have you on for a few minutes. I appreciate you gave us so much time and gave us up over an hour. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Really great stuff.
Good conversations are fun.
Yeah.
You're welcome on anytime. I'm sorry it took this long, but we shall be in touch.
Cool, man. Later, guys. Nice meeting you.
All right,
Thank you,
bye.
Jay. Great to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Jay.
Wow. Quite the show. Quite the show. I mean, I lied. I said that. Speaking of clickbait, that was said it was a live call-in show.
People are going to start to catch on, I think, Sevon.
You do?
No,
that the live call-in shows aren't really live call-in?
Nah, yeah.
Jay's take on the reasons we have laws and stuff, that was really beautifully articulated. And when he was like, oh, people don't we should learn this in 4th and 5th grade, it takes them all to learn. I was like, I bet you most people listening to this just learned it right now.
Oh yeah.
How old were you
I
when you
just learned it right now. Learned it right now.
Yeah, me too.
Guilty.
That was great. The way you put it in perspective like that.
Oh, okay. What should we? So I showed you guys the weight, the bar hitting the penis. What about? Oh, here we go. This should be fun. You think this is gonna turn into just a whole conspiracy show?
I hope so.
Get that trigger finger ready.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
Hey, what's going on?
Just chilling. Just trying to do a show. Just trying to make my $25 for the day.
I wanted to go back to what you said about the doctors. You said that doctors are retarded. They're not.
Go ahead.
They're not just retarded. They're corrupt as hell.
Yes.
They're taking from everyone, and they know. Okay, I'll give you an example. A year ago, my grandfather's wife died of COVID. He died from being on the ventilator from COVID, and the process is horrible. Your family can't see you. They won't allow anybody besides the two nurses that kind of trade off the shift. They won't allow, except for them two and the doctor on the COVID floor. And she lasted 11 days. That was the process. And we got, quote unquote, updates about their progress, which was, the heart rate stable, blood pressure stable, blah, blah, blah. And then a girl that I dated, her dad, same process a year later, and he lasted 11 days. Exactly. They're making money off of every day they stay on that COVID ward. And it's just like every doctor in America, because they know that America does have the best healthcare in the world. People flood to the country just to get it. Like Canada, they only have like you can walk into a hospital and they may not even have a fucking X-ray machine or a CAT scan.
Yeah, they do seem terrified about overwhelming their hospitals. They seem terrified about that.
And I understand that to a degree, but it's like, you know, and then the news wants to put the narrative, everybody wants to go to Canada for healthcare, and it's like you could go into an ER with like a gunshot wound and you might not even be seen, let alone worried about how long it would take to be seen.
When in California, when they were saying early on that they were concerned about hospitals being overwhelmed, and they started saying that hospital beds were full, I took my wife to a hospital facility over, I think it was Stanford, which is just over the hill from me in California, and it was a massive facility. I don't know, maybe 10 acres, maybe 20 acres. I don't know. Place was fucking barren. I dropped my wife up out front. There was not a single foot. There was. I said, "What was it like inside?" She had to have some surgery, minor surgery, and she said she didn't see one single other patient the whole time she's in there. Massive facility, complete parking lots empty. I'm like, "What the fuck?" There's no chance of this place being overwhelmed.
Oh, my dad's a nurse. He's worked in the last year. He's worked at 3 different hospitals, and he's like, "We are not busy." He's like, "We're not overwhelmed."
Did you say your dad's a nurse or a nerd?
He's a nurse.
Oh, okay.
He's a surgical nurse. Anyway, he's worked at 3 different hospitals in the last year. He's one of the nurses. He's one of the people that refuse to go on unemployment when everybody wants to quit and go get those $10,000 bonuses. And that's another thing. Nurses are quitting and going and getting those bonuses and those high salaries because of people being lazy and quitting. And anyway, but to answer that question is, hospitals are not overrun. And as a matter of fact, my dad said this exact thing. He said, we actually want to take more than our limit. And he goes, and that's on the doctors because they want us to make more money. And that's another thing with the corrupt doctors is they will take more than the capacity because they want that to make more money.
Yeah.
It's corrupt.
It's bad. It is bad. Yeah. And so many of them don't even know they're corrupt. And that's where the retarded part comes in.
Right. And I'm not saying all.
No. I'm not saying all either.
Are not corrupt.
And you know what? Like, I'm when my kid falls out of a tree and fucking breaks his arm, I'm the first person to rush my kid to the hospital. So,
right.
I understand. Okay. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate your call.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Can go from there. Can we go to how about the boob dance? Can we go to the boob? I see I've labeled something called the boob dance, and we better do this while Will's not here. I don't think Will's allowed to do the boob dance. Let me see the boob dance. What is this? Boob dance. Stand by, everyone. Mom, turn off the show. Oh, yeah. Let's see the boob dance. This One more time.
Give a fuck.
I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be rude, but I think the brunette in the back, I don't think she's needed there. I would put the other girl just up in the front, all by herself, and just do the. And the guy with the eyes going all different directions, don't need him either. I appreciate you showing that, Caleb. That was great.
My pleasure.
I don't want to see this stuff. It's just I'm on Instagram looking for guests, and so I have to show you the bar hitting the giant cock and the. I have to show you the
You're taking us on the journey.
I really like Justin Medeiros, and I say his name right, Justin Medeiros. I think I'm the only person in the CrossFit space that says it right. And I like his dad. They're good people, but this commercial, I'm not digging this commercial. Look at Bruce Wayne. There was a brunette. Can we see this Justin Medeiros bed commercial? I don't.
Man on her, the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, my sleep fitness machine. I used to sleep way too hot. I couldn't give 100% to my workouts or my life outside the gym. But with the automatic temperature control of the 8 Sleep Pod Pro, I'm falling asleep faster and seamlessly.
Okay, wait a second. This is supposed to be a joke, right? It's supposed to be over the top.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's in character with
I'm
his
such
mullet.
an idiot. See, I'm just watching a big picture now on my screen. I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
But on my phone, I'm like, what the fuck? Is this for real? Okay.
Weights at first, and then like struggling with the dumbbells.
Okay. Justin, I apologize. You and the bed people are cool as shit, and I'm old. Fucking old.
You should have just played with it and said you knew it was a joke the whole time.
Nah,
we just want to give him some props and hey, Justin.
Yeah.
hope you're doing well.
Thank you. That's what I meant. I'm
Hey,
getting
Jess,
one
hope
of
you're
those
doing
books
well.
tomorrow.
let us know.
How are we gonna get sponsors, Sevon?
I don't know. Hey, how about that girl earlier that was saying to me, when she was saying you said Craig Ritchie was living the dream because his girlfriend got boobs. Was she being serious?
No, she was joking. She said it in a
good.
comment
Okay.
later.
Well,
Yeah, she was like, "No, I'm just messing with you, poking some
Oh
fun."
man, I thought, oh darn it. See, I don't know. I can give it, I can't take it, I guess. Okay.
You're just looking for a fight.
I guess that slogan's already been taken by the UFC. Dana White's
Tone
just
for it
looking for a
there.
fight.
Huh? What'd you say? That better be a joke.
Okay, let's go to the Joe Biden nominates a black woman to the Supreme Court.
I think this was also a joke.
This cannot be a joke. This cannot be a joke. Caleb, cue us up, baby. Cue us up.
That was Inception.
This cannot be a joke.
Decision except one person. I will nominate. Will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court.
All that does is destroy the credibility of any black woman who would have otherwise been qualified for the job. Now, because Joe Biden said, I'm going to nominate a black woman, if he nominates a black woman, pretty much everybody is going to be like, well, there were other qualified candidates who would have served better in that position, but he made this promise and is going to
Okay, pause.
route.
Something got really noisy somewhere.
Caleb's computer's starting back up again.
Oh, I thought maybe his wife got in the shower. Caleb, tell your wife to close the shower door. We can hear her shower.
Hey, shut up back there. Doing a podcast.
I think it's like it's really fascinating. I think the being on Supreme Court's important. We need Jay here so he can be like, shut up, they're just actors. But bear with me, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I think the Supreme Court is pretty important, and who gets on there is pretty important. And when I look at when you say that you're going to put a black woman on there, I think, okay, that takes us down to, I think black women make up 7% of the United States population. And then you think half of those, let's say, are children. So now we're down to, I don't know, 3 or 4% of the U.S. population. And then how many of those are attorneys or whatever the prerequisite, or judges, whatever are the prerequisite to be qualified to be a Supreme Court justice? And it's just crazy to me. It seems like the most, like if you would have asked me, could anyone ever say that? I'd be like, no, it seems like the most outlandish, racist thing, close-minded. The power of being on the Supreme Court isn't the color of your skin or your genitalia.
Right.
My genitalia, I mean whether you have a penis or a vagina or the small percent that have both. It's in your clarity of the laws of this country to protect the citizens from the other arms of the government. It's just nuts to me. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I found this photo of actually some of the candidates and Biden looking over him. I'm gonna share it now.
Okay, look at. This is what Chad F says. Okay. Not a Biden fan, but the way I took this was that he already knows who he's nominating and dropped a little hint. I don't agree with you at all, but that's totally fair. That's thinking. That's thinking. I mean, oh man. I get why you're doing it. I get why you think, okay, hey, there's never been a black woman before. We need a black woman there because black women think a certain way. And that way the 6% of the population has been left out, and it will broaden our ability to be more fair, more just, and more in equality. I don't think it works that way. I think that's fucking flawed thinking. I hope it doesn't work that way. We're screwed as humanity's screwed if it does work that way, if people work that way. I know there's some things, like I know I care about kids more than most people. I know that anyone who cares about kids would never have allowed quarantines, vaccines, pandemic, mask, any of this shit to happen. So I know I'm like out on a limb caring about kids. Man, I have really strong feelings about you guys who are putting masks on your kids even for 5 minutes. I really cannot believe you're doing it to your kids. I really cannot believe it. Do not have kids unless you're willing to raise your kids. So many of my friends and everyone, they love sending their kids to fucking school so they can get away from their kids. Why did you have kids?
Yeah, but some of them don't have a choice.
I'm not buying. I hear you, Matt.
Okay.
I hear you. Then why did you have kids? Okay, go ahead.
You got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay your rent. You've been out of work. Maybe you've been struggling this whole entire time. The schools are finally back open in person. Your kids had no social interaction for over the last year. You're devastated by it, right? And I get that it's not the optimal choice, and I completely agree with your stance on it. But at the same time, like at some point, it's just so forced in hand that you have to do what you have to do, right? Like
okay.
Maybe they don't have the luxury to be home with their kids.
Okay.
And everything.
How about the people who do have the luxury? See, that's the thing, Matt. I think that more people have the luxury than led on to. But I hear you. I know. It's easy from my. I know. I make $50 a day from this YouTube channel. It's easy for me to be like
living the dream, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I really am.
Yeah.
I really am. I got fucking you and Caleb working for fucking free. I got Will fucking running my Instagram for free, fucking making $50 a day. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm like the government, and you guys are like fucking just slaves.
Happy little sheep.
Wad zombies sending me free stickers.
That's a cool one. I got one.
I know.
Show. Where'd it go?
It is really cool.
That's dope.
I had it here.
How about the I don't know if I should do that.
Where are you gonna go?
I was gonna attack the dude, the other meme dude. I was just gonna just blatantly just attack the other meme dude.
That guy's fighting hard for relevance still, huh? Boom, here it is.
Nah, he's got like 500,000. Oh yeah, he's got like 500,000 Instagram followers. He's living the dream.
I need t-shirt sales.
Oh, you guys, Wednesday t-shirts are coming out.
Oh,
all 6 of you that want them, you are going to be stoked.
You just increased to $51 a day now.
By the way, my beard's about to get crazy. My shit, I'm not going to shave the neck either. My shit, I'm about to get fucking crazy looking. Hey, so I went to Lake Tahoe. I was with my family there. I was there for 4 or 5 days. I ate shit that like I seriously have not eaten in years. I was eating like a box of fucking crackers every night and having like 2 or 3 glasses of wine just on my computer fucking around like from 9 to midnight. I put on like 12 to 14 pounds. I think I normally weigh between 150 and 155. I came home and I was like 168.7, like naked. I'm like, holy shit.
Was that before or after a deuce?
Well, that's a good question. And I was actually was talking to Caleb today, and he goes, "Hey, dude, it was probably water weight." And I was like, "Wow, you're right." And I was drinking about 2 to 3 times at least 3 to 4 times actually the amount of water I normally drink when I was in Tahoe, probably from all those crackers and shit I was eating. I was just drinking pints and pints of water, and from the alcohol. So I've come home. I've only been home for 3 days, 2 or 3 days. I've done 2 gnarly 40-minute fucking workouts, crazy workouts with a combination of like aerobics and heavy lifting, deadlifts and all that shit. One little small Metcon today, and then today's my like fasting day, and I'm already like, I feel 1,000 times better.
Back to normal,
dude. I mean, not quite. These cords were a little tight. See, tight.
You can still see your dick in there. So
yeah, thank you. Well, that's on purpose. That's in all my pants. I am gonna have. I think I am gonna get Sevon wristbands. I think they'll have an S or something on them. I'll be like Michael Jackson. I'll have my own wristbands and my own little boys. Okay. Let's on that note, let's go to Collapse Bridge.
Wait, are you gonna pull that up on Jerry News?
Is that where the Collapse Bridge is?
Well, I went on a good run last week, and I made a couple comments right when posts were posts, and I got like one of them had over 5,000 likes, the other one had over like 3,000 likes. I screenshotted it because people just go crazy on it, so I wonder if it'll pop up if you bring it up on Jerry News. My comment.
I didn't. Did you understand what Matt just said, Caleb?
Yeah. I'll pull it up on. I'll just throw it up here and then I'll go find it.
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about.
That's all right.
I don't even remember what. Oh yeah, this is
it's on Jerry
fucking.
News.
This is unreal. This is crazy. This is a bridge in Pittsburgh that collapsed just hours before President Biden's visit to the city to talk about infrastructure. I didn't even. That's some like. Oh wait.
Hold on, I got the other one.
Okay, that's like some third world shit. Is there? Oh wow. Oh,
Literally 2 words. Come on.
Dude, and look how many comments, 21 comments, and people were arguing like, you don't understand the definition. Then one person said, Alanis Morissette has entered the chat. And then I replied back, yes. And then they replied back, just like you, they don't understand what irony means. And I put, isn't it ironic?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's what's funny is that who cares about anything except for the fact that you got 1,000? Hey, that would make my day. Do you know that's why I comment on like Josh Bridges and Matt Fraser's and like that's the only reason why I comment on big accounts like that is so that I can try to climb to the top with the most likes. I just get like I don't care about likes on my post ever. I want likes in comments. It just makes me just chub
the other
up.
one I did had 5,600.
What?
Off screen? Yeah, that's what I was telling you. And it had so many comments. And then I did another one on Sports Center, and I was playing this game of like what matters the most. Is it the timing of when you post the comment, or is it the comment itself? And I will tell you, it's the timing of the comment. If you find a major account like this and you could get it inside the minute, and you just post something that's ambiguous, like it has to be vague, ambiguous, so there's a lot of interpretation, or something just silly like I did, you will get a ton of likes and interaction with that. I have them all screenshotted because I was going to do a little series on my Instagram and be like this week on my top comments. And like, you could see,
dude, do it. You have to do that.
All right, I'll do it. I got to spend some time going through them, but.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. I'm so impressed. I like you more now, Souza.
Because everybody else likes Souza.
Totally.
Some people bash me, dude. Some people will like personally attack me.
It's
great.
I think my most successful post, and they're not even near as successful as that, is on Noah Olson's post when I said don't give to a charity that's that uses the word equity, and then when I told Danielle Brandon her shirt was too big. I tried that again. I tried that again last week, and it didn't work. I was hoping it would bring out all the fucking wackadoodles.
Look, this one on Sports Center had 4,400 likes.
That you posted?
Yeah. And it's like these guys doing this crazy like workout routine thing. And I just commented boy brand practice.
And so do you have an alert that tells you and you know just to do that? Is it all
no,
it's on your part?
It's completely by chance. And then I did another one when Brady retired. That got a ton of comments, but not a lot of likes. This one here on hold on, it's loading. This one here was 2 dudes that got in a street fight on Barstool Sports, and it was 5,800 likes on this one. It's these 2 guys that got in like a street fight, but then like applauded each other afterwards.
Wow.
Is that the same one where they traded jersey or traded shirts?
No. They're just like, it's all love and like high five or something.
Oh my God.
I did another one on when M&M's posted their whole thing about more gender neutral characters because
do you get followers doing that?
I don't think so. No, not really. I mean, I get a lot of people, like I said, that will like comment or something like that, but I don't think few followers. I get a lot of the fake followers. You know what I mean? Like you'll get like Bitcoin, whatever, and this or that or something. So
Increase your wallet by 50K.
yeah, exactly.
People are starting to tell me that that Instagram's unfollowing me on their account without them knowing.
I think
And
that's true too. Yeah.
It's crazy. My Instagram account is dropping by about 100 every month now, while while the podcast is fucking exploding on iTunes.
It'd be crazy to know how many like if you weren't shadow banned, like from the time we started this to now, like how many followers you would have got. I bet it would have been easily like 50,000 more or plus. Like even if they just wanted to come to like argue with you, you know.
Right. Ken ooh. I'm freezing. Ken Walters, the Lone Wolf UFC Fighter podcast last night was outstanding top to bottom. Slowly but surely, because of the UFC podcast getting into again since Ronda retired. Love their live stories Sevon gets. That I didn't think that was a great podcast. He was a cool dude and I'm a cool dude and we were talking. I just didn't think I don't know. I didn't think I uncovered anything like, I don't know. Well, I'm glad you liked it, Ken. That makes me happy, honestly. I have to shut the door. Do you want to pull up, what, do we have anything else? Oh, yeah, let me give James Hobart some love. Can you pull up that James Hobart thing?
Yep.
This coming here with those were two excellent podcasts too. Really,
no doubt. Those are great.
So I had made a comment about One Nation, and I thought Austin Malleola owned the gym, and I had to eat my words for that. I bashed Austin Malleola a little bit unfairly, 51% unfairly, basically because this gym was basically saying that you couldn't come there unless you were vaccinated, and I think that's complete fucking horseshit. Just disgusting. And anyway, and then look at, after I did that story, here's James Hobart working out in that gym.
What are you saying?
I'm saying he's vaccinated. Oh, I love you, Hobart. I'm just fucking with Hobart. He's a good dude.
I thought you were gonna mention his pants in that thing. In this
Let me
clip.
see. Oh yeah, it's a little there. He's got a little bit of a wedgie. I can see his shorts are going into his vagina a little
They're
bit.
like sweat shorts.
I see that. I see.
You
Can you
got
make
a
that
new-
bigger so I can see his wedgie? I can see his labia majora. Let me see. Let me look at his crotch. Let me look at Hobart's crotch. Oh, I see a helmet. I think I see the helmet of his penis. Yeah, yes. Fucking Hobart.
I'm sorry, James. He's got a new shirt out on Rogue. Everybody should go check that out and purchase his shirt.
Oh, let's go look at that. Let's look at that.
Did they just restock that or something? Because I could have swore he had that for a while.
Could be.
Oh yeah, I know. The thing is that it's freezing here, Bruce, and I have a heater on in my office, but then I have the door open because that's how the rich do it. And my heater is obviously not good enough to so I had to close the door. And I'm freezing because I always get cold on my fasting day. Yeah, that's a cool shirt. That is a cool shirt. How much?
$30. It's a little steep.
And why is it only a 4.6 star? Let me see that.
Careful with that. We don't know the prices of our shirts yet.
Let's Great shirt. Great. Let me see the ones.
Great price.
Oh, here we go.
Great, soft, and stretchy.
Come on. You got to give it 4 stars. You said it was good. Come on. Oh, here we go.
Nice shirt, but the picture online is either wrong on the printing process didn't work properly. Okay. All right. Fair. Oh.
He got his from China. That's why.
Wow.
Maybe that was a defect one. Wait, what was the original? What's it supposed to look like?
Does it not have the wheel on it?
You got the knockoff version.
You did get the knockoff. Even your dragon looks like a bitch. Yours looks like a Dr. Seuss dragon.
He made an iron-on of it. He didn't even buy it from Rogue.
Yeah. I got mine from Amazon. Damn, that drop shipping.
Oh,
Amazon
man.
Marketplace. Yeah, that's the
All
only.
right, Howard. I hope we sold you some shirts. Man.
Please come back on the show.
You guys
Our
want me to-
podcast has better ratings than his shirt.
I don't know if I want to talk tsunami of chronic disease, high school, Nike vax. Oh, look at this. You want to know something I'll never buy again? I'll never buy Nike gear again. Can you pull up that?
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever, ever. Nike is refusing to hire black people. And it's just mind-boggling to me. Oh no, they're firing all black people. Oh no, unvaccinated. God, I always get the two confused. I'm sorry. That's okay, Nike. I thought it was black people. My bad.
It says reportedly, so we don't know if it's 100% true, right?
Yeah. And just so you know, so I don't want to even give you any love, but this dipshit posted on YouTube. I know you think you're being hilarious when you confuse black people with unvaccinated. No, actually, it's the exact opposite of that. You don't, first of all, you don't know shit. You started a sentence with, I know you think you're being hilarious. You're a fucking moron. No, I don't think I'm being fucking hilarious. I do think I'm hilarious. I don't think this subject's fucking hilarious at all, which shows you're a fucking idiot. Then second of all, you put to confuse black people with unvaccinated. It's truly unfunny. Yeah, it is truly unfunny. You just sound like an old bitter twat. I sound like an old bitter twat. You sound like a fucking bitch. And an old bitter twat. Actually, I don't know anything about old bitter twats. I don't think twats ever become bitter. I'll let you know.
Why does
fucking
that sound
Nike.
like
hey,
barely
it's the exact same thing to not hire black people and not hire unvaccinated people. And if you can't see that, if you start having to parse it out, well, the unvaccinated people aren't safe for this, that, you're completely clueless. It's actually worse to not hire unvaccinated people. Do you want to know why? Oh my God, I can't believe Sevon said that. It's worse than not hiring black people. It is worse. Do you know why? Because you're forcing those people to take a drug. Forcing them for their life. No, they're not forcing them. Well, then you don't know what it's like to have 3 kids at home. Hi, caller. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I just living the dream. We've crossed over.
I have a question for you, Sevon.
Yes, sir.
Were you? Because you talk a lot about the respect for trainers and, like, particularly the seminar staff, and I've never heard you talk about this. Were you ever a trainer? And / would you ever be like? Did you ever want to be a trainer? Did you ever want to be on seminar staff? Like, how come you? Yeah, that was my question.
So when I'll try to tell the story really fast. I really like the story, but I'm going to just try to make it fast. What was your name?
Josh.
So Josh, I was making some TV shows, and there was a break in between some of the action, and there was a security guard there, and I started talking to the security guard, and he started telling me that he does this thing called CrossFit to stay in shape. And then he told me some of the workouts he did, and I told my friend who was there helping me produce the show, Carrie Peterson, I said, wow, that sucks. That guy's super fucking buff. And he has to lie about his workouts. He goes, what did he say he does? I'm like, well, he started telling me about workouts where he fucking does 100 pull-ups. So we go home, and my friend calls me, the producer who helped me produce the show, and he goes, dude, I went to that website that security guard was talking about. He's not fucking lying. There are workouts with 100 pull-ups in them. I'm like, holy shit. So we started doing CrossFit. And there weren't a lot of videos on the site then, and the internet didn't have a lot of videos on it because people didn't have the bandwidth to download videos. And so the videos on the CrossFit site were like little tiny flip phone videos. So I eventually, after doing CrossFit for like 6 months or whatever, this is 2005 or 2006, or maybe doing CrossFit for, probably like 6 months. I sent an email to Lauren and Greg, and basically I got hired on, and I was just thrust into CrossFit, and I started making videos for them. And then the bandwidth in people's homes and the internet access and everything exploded. And then YouTube was around, and then fucking the whole thing exploded from there. And during that time, I used to go to L1s and film everything there. Like just L1 after L1 after L1. I don't know how many L1s I've been to, 50. And through that, I was just completely blown away at these L1 trainers. They transmitted so much information in 2 days, and the culture of CrossFit. It was like it really is like a fucking cult. they teach you. They teach you to love your fellow and to cheer on and motivate and believe in your fellow workouter. I don't know what you call them. Your fellow, the person next to you who's taking personal responsibility and personal accountability for their lives, and to support them regardless if they're doing scaled, not scaled, how old they are. Well, it was the most. It is the antithesis. It's full acceptance. It was the most gratifying experience ever. Everyone was broken down. It's just like what they say. There's a Taoist saying, stop thinking and all your problems will end. And that's why if you do 100 burpees for time, your life is perfect, because all of a sudden you have to focus on your own breathing. and it's just, so yeah, through that. I'm scared to death about public speaking. I don't like meeting strangers. I'm scared to death of all that. And I always admired them, and I thought they were smart, and I always looked up to them. And so I didn't pursue it because I was just terrified. But I also used to take a bunch of gym equipment to a 400-meter track every single day, and I had started running my own little small affiliate during that time too. Just people would just come to the track, and they knew I would be there every day at 5 o'clock with all my weights, and I'd unload my truck, and I probably had, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10 people there who worked out there regularly with me for about a year. And then eventually I became a big shot executive at CrossFit, and fuck it, stop doing that shit.
What year was that?
I don't, 2000. So I was hired at the end of 2006. And so it must've been like 2007, 8, 9, somewhere in there. I think by 8 or 9, I was like just so busy with CrossFit. I was just traveling the world, just filming CrossFit stuff at that point. I mean, it was basically just me, Tony Budding, and Carrie Peterson on the media team. And then I think Tony started hiring people like Pat Barber, Rory, Leif Edmondson. I think those were like the next 3.
You were briefly on the update show. Dave
Lee's. Yeah. And
whoa.
Yeah, I was briefly on the update show. That's right.
What about that update show?
Go ahead.
Would you ever be a trainer now? Like, are you still scared of public speaking? Like, 'cause I feel like
yes, I'm terrified of it. Say that again.
I feel like you're good at conveying information.
Yeah, but that's like, like I would say something like, 10,000 kids died yesterday from fentanyl, but really they died from heroin. Like the spirit of it would be right, but I'd get it wrong. Like I'm the kind of person to like have you do too many squats when you should have been doing pull-ups, or like I'd fuck all that up. I'm kind of joking, half joking. I am a trainer now for my 3 kids.
Oh yeah.
So
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I just always wondered that, because I was like, man, I wonder like if you did some of that behind the scenes and people would know. Like, isn't Adrian Botsman a really, really good coach?
Unbelievable.
Judge?
Unbelievable. Maybe the greatest in the world. Unbelievable. And extremely physically talented. Extremely. Not talented. Sorry, he's put in a lot of work. Yeah, dude, he can do crazy shit. He's a fucking circus freak.
He's buff in person too. When you see him, if you like give him a hug, you're like, oh.
Yeah, he's made of steel. He's a circus freak. He can fight. He can do all of it. He fucking can tell you. He can adjust your squat from 300 yards away. He's a miracle as a human being.
I worked out with him once, and my muscle ups were smooth, and it was the best. I was like,
Adrian's beyond a good dude. You know why he's such a good dude? He's the most low maintenance friend you could ever have. Like he's the dude. He'll be like, hey, can you come over to my house for dinner? And you're like, yeah. And then you call him 3 minutes before, and you're like, I can't come. He's like, no problem. Tell me when you can. He taught me. I was already pretty much an expert on low maintenance friendship, but he like took it to the next level. He used to live by me. So go ahead, Scott. No, not Scott. Paul, Chris, Josh.
I was gonna say, ever since you and Sarah Sigmundsdottir talked about the concept of low maintenance friends, that blew my mind. They're the best. Like I've talked about that with a whole bunch of other people. I was like, dude, like a low maintenance friend is the thing to strive to be and like to look for.
Yes. Low maintenance friend. Anyway. Pick like one tiny thing you love about someone and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take any more of your time.
Thanks, Josh. I always think that we're gonna get like pranked. Like someone.
Me too.
Yeah, I just think.
But when he said, I was like, already. I just get nervous. Like if I was in control, people would hate it because they would start to go, and I'd be like, nope, I had a bad feeling. I hung up. And he had a great question.
Did we ever look at Logan Aldridge on Peloton? Have I blown him yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, let's blow him.
All right.
So
it's the page isn't there.
Oh, it's not?
Uh-uh.
Oh, all right. Sorry, Logan.
Next time.
What's this Mike Workington podcast carrying? What is that?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Excuse me. Mike Workington might be one of the most knowledgeable people on the planet when it comes to CrossFit. I know we were just talking about how amazing Adrian Bosman is, but what's so amazing about Mike Workington is I think a former affiliate owner, an amazing coach on all levels, from like the person who needs to lose 100 pounds to fucking games caliber athletes. His wife is a nutrition expert, but on top of that, he is the CrossFit Journal. Like this fucking guy this guy is like way up in northern Canada too. This guy's a Canadian national treasure. This guy knows a lot of shit. I think, and he works for Chris Cooper now. Chris scored with him. Chris, let's give Mike a raise. Can we let's listen to this clip from Two Brain Business.
Where people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's
that
what,
really
is that Roosevelt?
does. Sure, I don't know. I've heard it so much in my life. Michael Scott said it. Who knows? Okay. I don't know. But that it really is true. If you care, or if you know all the points of a squat, but you don't know that my daughter's been in the hospital for like a week, and that's why I've not been at the gym, then how does that translate over, at all? Literally, that was a conversation I had with one of our members today. I just got on Facebook, saw that they were at the hospital. Turns out they've been in the hospital for a whole week. Just shoot them a message on Facebook Messenger. Hey, I just saw this. How are y'all? Is there anything I can do?
Can you play that first quote again?
Really does.
Caleb, just the quote.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Before people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care.
People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And with Caleb's fan on in the background. Yeah, that's and look at Mike Workington. Looks like he's where is he interviewing a prison inmate? Look at that guy. Looks like he just what prison is that dude in? How does he know that?
I think that's an affiliate owner from CrossFit. What did it say up there? Woetown.
Is the call-in number Steven's personal cell? If so, I'm going to be calling him with conspiracy theories every day. Yeah, please do. Right after you learn what the definition of conspiracy theory is. Sevon, when will you have Pat Sherwood on the podcast? I don't know if I should tell my Pat Sherwood stories. I don't think I'm comfortable telling those yet. I'm not sure how much some of my stories are like scorched earth stories. You know what I mean? They're if I
keep it holstered, huh?
Yeah, just like what if I do want to have Pat on, but someday he does come on. If you want to see Pat and I interact, we did 2 CrossFit podcasts together, and I think they were pretty good. And I think they're cool. They're good. Pat and I are not cut from the same cloth. We're very different people. I will say that. And yeah. But I really enjoyed interviewing him. He was great. I just think that, look at me, I'm like a little old lady over here twisting my headphone cable. Pat, yeah. Go listen to the CrossFit podcast, right? And I did 2 episodes, a part 1 and a part 2 with Pat. And I think that's it.
That covers everything they want and need to know.
Yeah. I don't think that we interact again ever on this lifetime, me and Pat. Caleb's wife's in the shower again.
It's definitely me. I'm gonna have to change the setting of my fans.
You get you a new computer. I'm gonna start saving $1 from every podcast, and when we're 1,500 podcasts in, I'm gonna send it to you. Yes, I would have Adrian Bosman on in a second.
And he already did.
We already had Adrian on.
I did?
Yeah.
What episode was that?
I'll go find it.
Here's the thing, you guys. Like, it's kind of like I don't think
Episode 188.
It's probably not. Oh, okay. It's
Damn,
probably
that was
not
quick,
healthy for anyone. Episode 188. I'm guessing it's probably not healthy for anyone who works at CrossFit to
The one with Adrian was great.
be affiliated with me. I know that was then. This is now. Things have changed. I mean, I've gone pretty hard in the paint at these motherfuckers. I got a whole. Oh, and I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm just. I don't want like every one of my shows just to be negative, and then this turns into fucking like just like negative Nelly. But I do like practicing throwing rocks at glass houses, and there'll be more this week. There'll be more this week. You have the dragon? Do you have the dragon, Caleb?
Sure do.
Oh, okay. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, yes. Yes, probably 2 dragons this week. You should know. You should know. Stay close to your YouTube. Oh man. Okay. I think that's good. I save all this other stuff. What is this James Sprague thing? What's James Sprague? Do I like him or do I not like him? I think he was on the podcast. I like him a lot. I hope whatever I'm putting up to show about him is good.
I like him. I like his parents too.
Yeah, I think this.
What I see, I have a note about him. What do I have? Oh yeah. We already did this. We looked at his dad. Yeah, his dad's dope. Yeah, okay.
Dad's a tank, dude.
You had made a comment that Brian didn't address, and you said he's kind of moving a little like funky there as far as like the hang clean. And I wanted to address that real quick because as you learn these things as you age, if you didn't have some sort of background in gymnastics or something where there was a lot of kinesthetic awareness involved, the learning curve for what they're for learning Olympic weightlifting and some of the gymnastics movements is a lot steeper. And it's almost like if you miss that at a certain point, it's hard to move that athletically. So, and on top of that, it's competition and it's heavy weights and he's moving as fast as he can. So just
I have a different take on it than Souza. I used to have a nasty fucking hang clean and power clean. And I used to see dudes like my age at the games be doing cleans, and I'd be like, man, they pull so much. They have no pop. What's wrong with these guys? Well, now I'm 49. I've completely lost my pop. I do it just like that, like James's dad, but like with 1/3 the weight that James's dad uses. But I used to have a crazy snap and pop.
Yeah,
and it's fucking gone. I don't know where it went. It just went away.
Yeah, there's one of those things, and he still moves well. So don't mistake that for us. Like throwing rocks at him, he still moves well.
He's got a good front swalk.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Oh man.
Did you?
So many cool things in my notes. I guess I can do another call-in show sometime.
Did you see that little Instagram beef with Danny Spiegel and Karen Friedel?
I did see that. Holy shit! I did see that. So, can you explain to me what happened there? God, I'm glad this is at the end of the podcast. No one's listening anymore, right?
What are you guys talking about?
This is even below me to talk about.
It's
We're off the air, right?
Did Carolyn Prevost think that she was so that girl in the underwear and bra there?
That's Danny Spiegel.
Swimming.
Okay, so
and then it's a DM to Danny Spiegel from Carolyn Prevost. She so I was trying to figure out how you could fuck this up, but if you swipe up to you can respond to somebody or you can comment on the story. And so what I'm guessing is what happened is Carolyn swiped up to comment, not realizing that she meant to DM it to somebody, and then just typed the comment and sent it. And then she did it on two different stories and didn't catch it.
Her body didn't look like that at the Mid-Atlantic. And then basically she sent it to Danny Spiegel on accident. And Danny Spiegel didn't respond. And then she sends another one and she says juice? Like what kind of juice? Orange juice?
Yeah.
If you've got something to say, I'm all ears. Holy. And what's I always wonder, what's the up down smiley emoji? What's that?
It's just like come on, man. I feel like it's more of just like a dude, seriously, or I just
So Jay Nera, so my take is that she sent it on accident, but maybe Jay Nera or someone else who can think like bigger picture shit is like she sent it on purpose.
I think
You know
so.
what I mean?
Maybe it's a subconscious thing.
releasing a sex tape, or maybe I mean Danny Spiegel's got like 800,000 dudes fucking signed up to her fucking Instagram account jerking off on her. Carolyn Prevost probably has like, how many does she have? She has like 23,000. I'm guessing. I'm making this shit up, right? So what you do is you release the sex tape so you can get more eyes on your account. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, or no? I'm no Jay Nera. I'm no Jay Nera.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Freudian slip.
So you think it's truly an accident?
I think it's an accident. I mean, it happens to a lot of people, but it's kind of it's a really silly mistake for somebody who's probably on social media all the time.
Yeah, do you think Carolyn Prevost on social media that much? She's too busy working out.
Yeah, that's true. I just think if it's your job to have like a social media following, I suppose then.
In the small interactions I had with her at Wadapalooza, she's like Carolyn Prevost, super nice, like just super warm and nice and stuff. So this might have been in confidence with like somebody else, and then it was like an oh shit moment.
It goes back to that thing like don't say anything that you wouldn't want on the cover of the New York Times. Because then like some jackass like Sevon on the Sevon podcast is gonna bring it up. I like Carolyn Prevost too. Like I don't care like that she said it.
No,
like
it's whatever.
Like it is a bit much to call her out.
I don't like though that Danny Siegel put love girls supporting girls. It's like,
oh yeah. That's
how are you gonna
woke.
Conflate that whole thing, right? It's like
woke. She's woke. Fuck. She's woke as fuck. Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yes.
That's a really good point. I love it, and she's smashing a girl by doing that.
In a much larger way, because really Danny could have kept this private, right? So she made the choice to blow this up, and I'm not saying the choice is wrong. I don't have an opinion on that choice, but what I'm saying is like you can't, like it could have been kept private, and you could have addressed it back and forth with her and kept it that way, and that really would have been female supporting a female in that direct interaction. But instead, you took that and then you blew it up, and so it's kind of like
that whole crew, man. That whole crew, they're fucking. It's the same as the anti-racist crew. They have to they promote racism through their anti-racism because that's how they stay relevant and make money. That whole thing is such a fucking scam. It's the same as this. It's the same as this.
Picked up some Instagram followers from that.
Me too. The woke crew is so gross.
You know what would be the most badass thing is if like they were friends. And they're like, hey, can you do this so we could get a little attention? And let's stir some stuff up a little bit. You'll get some followers. I'll kind of do this. And like they were just in cahoots the whole time.
God, I hope so. I hope
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, Danny Spiegel has 826,000 followers, and Carolyn Prevost has 10.4.
Yeah, so hopefully she picks them up. I mean, really, that's a win.
Let's let girls support girls, and she's got an account with. That's like 100 times the amount of followers, 80 to 90 times the amount of followers, and she has to do that to her. And then her comment, I mean, dude, talk about betraying your fucking self.
Like I said, she made the choice to do it public, like Danny did, right? And like if Carolyn accidentally had sent that and she meant to send that to a friend or something, I mean, there's anything that people could pick and choose without context and blast us with, and we would, it would look terrible. So I'm not going to judge either one of them for it, but it is interesting.
I'm judge the fuck out of both of them. Ken Walters, I'm 59 and my CrossFit crew all younger. You know what I think I know I'll tell you in a second. Ken Walters, I'm 59. My CrossFit crew all younger says I reverse curl the most weight they have ever seen.
I just imagined that in my head. Like.
You're a good dude, Ken. Yeah, there's no Danny Spiegel. Carolyn Prevost's Canadian too. She's so fucking cool, but she's fucking Canadian as those fucking guys. And you guys got to fucking wake the fuck up. You guys are so fucking brain dead. You guys are just sheep, man, to slaughter. You're being pushed off a cliff and like, well, it's going to take 2 minutes till we die. They could have pushed us off a shorter cliff and we'd be dead in 30 seconds. Those are good people.
They're uniting now, and they're doing it a lot better than anybody else around the world.
I hope you're right.
And if
I
there's one
hope
group that could
you're
get
right.
together and keep that peaceful and actually create some sort of ricochet change off of that, it would be them, right? Americans would already be like, let's bust that store open and get some Nikes.
What happened to the news show? I think Kate
You're
and
watching it, bro.
I'm making this up, by the way, but I think Kate and what was the boy's name?
The guy
James
doing
Hobart.
The presses at One Nation.
Yeah, I think Kate and James Hobart are just taking a small break. I think after this week they'll probably have to take another small break. I think they're just gonna take like a break, a month.
Maybe
like
the shirt sales and the promotion here will help boost that and give them a little financial runway there.
I was gonna say, until this show can make enough money to where I can pay them, I don't think they're coming back on for just a little while. But you can. Kate has a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Gone Rogue.
Gone Rogue, yes. So if you miss Kate, you can go over and watch her podcast, Gone Rogue. And then Hobart is you can go watch old Instagram videos or old YouTube videos of Hobart. There's hundreds of them.
Buy the cap. Maybe he'll get some kickback for that.
I think he already got it. All right, guys. Thank you. Oh, tomorrow morning. But have you noticed I'm changing? What do you guys think? So sorry. We're gonna get off any second. But have you noticed I've been changing the names of the shows? So
No,
like
you
for
mean, like the title?
tomorrow's show, like I've been trying to use instead of people's names, I've been trying to get on the clickbait bandwagon here.
All caps. Biggest news ever in CrossFit.
So you're right, yeah. So this guy Hagel that we're having on tomorrow, Jake Hagel, I just had his name, right? But then I decided, okay, I'll change it to a quote I saw on his Instagram: increased life expectancy by 30 years.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or like tomorrow's show with Jorge Ventura. It used to just say Jorge Ventura. Now I put instead the name of his documentary, Indoctrination Nation.
I like that.
Okay, you do like that.
I like
okay.
that. Yeah, a little context on that. It's intriguing, right? People kind of see it and they're like,
Because some of these
"Oh,
guys
okay."
I've never even heard of, like Ben Mesrich. No idea who that is.
Dude.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
So I'm reading that guy's fucking book. It's called Bitcoin Billionaire.
Oh,
And-
that's his book.
Yes.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
And then I'm like, okay, we should have this guy on the podcast. He seems pretty cool. This is a cool book. Then I look, he's written 25 books. 2 of his books have been made into movies. One of his books is that Facebook movie, Social
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No
his
shit.
fucking movie. And the guy agreed to come on the podcast. I get so mad at people when they say this to me. I want to fucking break their face open. They say to me, I can't believe you got that person on the podcast. But I can't believe I got that guy on the podcast. I'm go punch myself in the face tomorrow. And then, dude, can you believe this lineup? Listen to this, guys. We have Jake Hagel, lost over 100 pounds. Then we have Jorge Ventura, one of the greatest reporters living today. Then we got this guy, Brent Morris, on the next day. He was injured taking the injection. Then we got Ben Mesrich on, author who sold more than 10 million copies, got a bunch of big Hollywood movies he's made. Mark Madsen, an Olympian and a UFC fighter who's 11-0. Then we have Neil Maddox. I don't even know what that show is going to be about, but I'm really excited to talk to Neil. Justin Kotler, that's the guy who's got the biggest and baddest new upcoming
Underdogs
CrossFit
Athletics.
training camp. Yep. Then we have Graciano Rubio. This is going to be a fascinating story. I think he lost a family member to poor health, to just treating themselves poorly, and he's embraced CrossFit like no other. And I think he was one of the first guys I ever saw do Isabel with 305 pounds or something. But he's also stood up for Dave, which I love. Then we have this guy, Joe Illuminati on. I wanted to have him on because he lives in a van half his life, but recently he just tore both his bicep tendons.
Yeah. Casher just posted that. Dave
Was that
Casher
him?
posted that.
Yeah.
Where he does this, and
Whoa.
as soon as it goes to extension, they just curl up.
Dude.
It's gnarly.
And then we have Angelo DeChico. And, just slowly we're just picking off the entire Mayhem Empire. I've yet to meet someone over there that I don't like.
We need
even though there's
Tasia Prevish on next, too.
All right. Yeah.
We
Let's
grabbed
do
her.
that.
She was super cool.
Oh, we need
she's
Rory.
Hannah's
Let's
coach now.
we need Rory. We need to get Rory on.
Tried.
What?
Oh my goodness. It's a good ass life. All right. Love you guys. When are Dave and Greg coming on soon? Dave, soon. I think they'll both be on soon. Not together, but soon.